day of March, and wowzers, man, what a difference the temperature is this morning from this time yesterday. Kim, it's pretty shocking stuff, huh?
It was funny because we went to church Sunday morning. We're walking in around 10 and it's sunny. I mean, it's a little windy, but it's sunny. It's beautiful. It's in the low to mid 60s. We walk out. There was already a change in like an hour and a half. And then a few hours later, it's dark and it's torrential downpour.
Yeah, it was. I had shorts on most of the day yesterday, and then I had to walk the dogs outside. And I'm, whoa, what happened here? Just shocked. I mean, fortunately, no severe weather in my neighborhood, but I know there were some tornadoes reported. And man, Steve Templeton is at the top of a lot of people's list this morning. Whew. There were some angry people on social media yesterday at the weather department at Channel 5 and Channel 4. Well, it's not Steve's fault. I'll defend him to this extent. It's not his fault that the tornado alert got issued at about 4:50, and the NCAA tournament show started at 5. And at 4:50, they cut into programming on Channel 4, and they didn't stop for like an hour and a half. And here's what I think: like, if at one point they went to a split screen when the NCAA started announcing the picks on CBS. They went to a split screen. Steve Templeton was visibly agitated that they cut away to a split screen because he was afraid people couldn't see the details of what he was showing them. And there was no audio on the split screen. You couldn't hear what they were saying, but if you had 20/20 vision, you could see the names being loaded into the brackets as they went along. And then finally, Steve Templeton says, listen, I know there are people unhappy about this, but there are 1 million people in the line of these storms, and I'm going to report on the immediate threat to life. And if you're missing the basketball picks, I'm sorry about that, but this is just the way it's got to be. It was effectively his message, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, that he feels like he has a responsibility to warn people when there's a deadly situation like that. The people on social media were tearing him up.
It's not just how he feels, though. Could TV stations not be sued or fined at the very least if they don't cut in? If there's a tornado warning, I think even a watch within the viewing area, is it not there? You have to. They don't have an option. You have to cut in.
Maybe. I don't know the answer to that. What I do know is that eventually they offered it on their HD2 station or whatever they have, and I was able to stream it through my phone. I've got the CBS March Madness app, and I just did AirPlay onto my TV and watched the CBS show. But apparently there are people out there who don't either have that technology or don't know how to do it, and there were a lot of unhappy people who didn't get to see and learn until later that Mizzou is going to play right across the street at Enterprise on Friday.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
I know. I thought of you because I know you're going to the first round.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And Missouri.
Nice.
I won't get to see the Missouri game in person. I'm sad about that. But because I'm emceeing the St. Charles County GOP Trump Lincoln dinner on Friday night. But the Kentucky game is at like noon. So I will get to be over there for the Kentucky game at least, and who knows? I mean,
well, they probably looked at your schedule and realized that would be the best timing for you.
First game.
That's
The Kentucky game is the early game, and the Mizzou game is the late game because they're smart like that because they knew Mizzou fans are going to pack that place, and they wanted to give them all day to be here and spend money in downtown St. Louis. But anyway, congratulations to Mizzou. Thrilled that they're getting to play near home. That's really cool.
That's an advantage, really.
Well, it should be. It'll be like a home game for them, right? And then the winners will play on Sunday. Which
means we probably won't be.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, let's be real. Look, go Mizzou. I support Mizzou. You know that. This is how it is every year. We get all excited and amped up about it, and then we're out in the first round.
They are the higher seed.
That doesn't mean anything.
I know. I'm just saying. They are the higher seed. They should be favored, I would think. I have not seen any numbers, but I would think they would be favored in that game on Friday. And so will Kentucky. And, of course, Bruce Pearl and the other guys at CBS immediately picked the Kentucky game as an upset. So I know nothing about the team they're playing, like Santa Clara or something. I don't know, some team out of California that they're playing that they think, they're big and they're strong, and they got to build up drama for these games, of course. But congratulations to all the teams that made it in. SLU will get to play. Robbie Avila will get to play. Unfortunately, I know a lot of SLU fans were hoping maybe they'd get the Enterprise game, and instead they're being sent somewhere else.
Buffalo is what Drew was saying.
That's some travel time there. But congrats to everybody that got in. Saturday, I went down to the Defiance St. Patrick's Day Parade. And what a great event that is. It really is. Somebody emailed me this morning and said, Mark, heard you talking about the parade in Defiance, and I decided I'd go down there Saturday. You didn't warn me about the traffic. Well, actually, Joe Brazel, who we had on live, did warn you about the traffic. He warned you that you if you need to get down there by like 10 o'clock because they're going to start shutting down 94, and there's limited parking down there anyway. So, indeed, it was a great time. There were thousands of people down there. And I've got some stories related to that because, as a warning to you, I'm going to play some audio that I collected while I was down there this weekend. There were two women down there collecting signatures for a petition that would go on the ballot in November. They both had volunteer shirts on, and they were lying to people, in my personal opinion. They were deceiving people as to what they were signing. And my guess is they got hundreds of people to sign this petition this weekend. If you're one of the people that were down there and the woman said to you, we just want honesty in how ballot issues are described, like the ballot language. That's how they were pitching it. This would guarantee honesty in ballot language. And the lady goes, would you like to sign this? And I'm like, No. I want to see the full sheet. What is this really about? Well, I get to reading it. It was about preventing any sort of initiative petition reform ever. Like it would, if this got on the ballot and passed, we could never, ever affect initiative petition ever again.
Did you confront him?
Oh, I did.
Is it on video?
Like the girl did a pretty good job trying to defend herself. She was a volunteer. She wasn't getting paid, she claimed, because I asked her about that. And but I did tell her, I think what you're doing is deceptive. You're not leading with you're bearing the lead here on what this is about. There's a thing in there on ballot language, but the gist of this is it would never allow anybody to change the initiative petition process in Missouri ever again, because they like being able to buy their way onto the ballot. And they're pissed off that Clean Missouri got overturned. And this is that manic group of people out there who are crazed about being able to buy their way onto the ballot and cement things into the Missouri Constitution, like abortion and marijuana forever, which shouldn't be in the Missouri Constitution, by the way, but it is now. So now I'm on my soapbox. I'm just saying. I've got a little bit of audio from that I'll play for you. Because once I realized what they were doing, I told the organizers of the event, you got people over here lying to people. I saw her at picnic tables walking up, and she talked to them for a minute, and then people are scratching their name down on there and signing it. And I'm like, there's no way they know what they're signing.
Well, maybe some of those volunteers, quote-unquote volunteers, will be scared away from Tuesday's parades. I'd planned to go to the one in Old St. Charles, but it's supposed to be a high of 30. So maybe all those people with their clipboards won't want to have to stand out in those temperatures collecting signatures and deceiving people.
It was 50, rose to about 60 degrees by the end of that parade. The temperature was perfect.
Yeah.
The poor people at the Hibernian parade, you guys are going to be freezing your butts off tomorrow. There's no doubt about that. Wear your big, thick green jacket for sure. All right, tell you what, Drew, I've gone a little long in this segment. I'm going to wait till the next segment to get to our top stories. What we will do, though, it's okay with you, is get to our national anthem. That's all right.
traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Man, the insane weather that we're having is just ridiculous. Okay, now we've got some power outages throughout the area, and we've got traffic signal problems reported. But the ramp from Rivas Barracks to southbound 55, ramp from northbound 141 to Clayton Road, Telegraph, Yeager, we've got traffic signal issues, 141 at Gravois, First Capital at 70. So take care on the roads this morning. And, of course, we've got a wind advisory in effect until noon. So it's one of those mornings, giving yourself a little extra time, not a bad idea. But at this hour, we are generally quiet. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Want a new home in Cottleville? Check out Cottleville Trails by McKelvey Homes. Take a golf cart or walk to downtown Cottleville. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today to learn more about the incredible homes in Cottleville Trails and move up to McKelvey.
All right, my friends at Golden Oak Lending, I doubt if there's anybody sitting at the office over there right now, but if you call them, they're going to call you back as soon as the doors open. The great thing about Golden Oak Lending is when I refinanced with them a couple years ago, I did it all online. So you can just go to goldenoaklending.com. You'll see a portal there. You go in and create an account, and you can apply right now for a 4.5% 15-year mortgage. You can for a refinance or for a new mortgage if you're shopping for a house. Now, everybody's looking at interest rates. Why would you not take advantage of this while you can? Maybe you've got a big credit card debt out there you want to pay off. Maybe you just want to get into that new house regardless. Think about this. When you refinance or get a new mortgage, you go a couple of months without a house payment. That's money back in your pocket. And if you're paying off credit card debt, you might have $1,000 extra in your pocket each month. That's the average that the cash out customers get at Golden Oak Lending. I'm telling you, it's a 5.442 APR on that. It's a 15-year FHA loan with 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply, and their NMLS number is 114937. But call them today at 314-567-GOLD or go to goldenoaklending.com.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is St. Louis Conservative. The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
Whoever made that decision should be in jail.
Oh, is that Tucker Carlson saying whoever decided to go to war in Iran should be in jail? Would that include Donald John Trump? I don't know, but that clip is going a little bit viral yesterday. Tucker is sort of on the hot seat right now, and I'll tell you why coming up.
TSA agents have missed a partial payment. They just missed a full payment. These are men and women who don't make a lot of money.
There's the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, talking about what's going on. This Schumer shutdown of the DHS, the timing couldn't be worse. And they're inflicting a lot of damage on these TSA agents, these DHS employees. Airports are shutting down flights around the country, and we're not protecting our homeland at a time when we need to. Why are Democrats defunding the police?
I think that the president's move here is the single bravest foreign policy move of my lifetime. I think it can be the single most transformational foreign policy move since the fall of the Soviet Union.
Wow, Ben Shapiro's on board, as you can tell. He's drawing the ire of Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and a whole bunch of other people, but he believes this is one of the greatest foreign policy moves that this president has ever made.
What are we collecting signatures for? This is the Respect Missouri Voters Petition. This is to help require our ballot language to be clear and accurate when we go to vote.
Yep, there it is. The Respect Missouri Voter Coalition is what they call it. These were the protesters I encountered in Defiance, Kim. It's like the Everybody Loves Puppies bill. They name it things that nobody could possibly be opposed to, and then you find out the truth. So 2 women, an older lady and a younger lady, were at this event on Saturday collecting signatures, and I warn you about that primarily because I ask questions. I don't sign my name to anything without asking questions. A lot of questions. And my guess is that despite the weather, they're also planning to be at the Dogtown Parade on Tuesday and wherever else big gatherings are happening between now and whatever the deadline is to turn these signatures in, because they want to get this on the ballot for November. And what it would do is it's deceptive in its name. They're selling it as some sort of a piece of legislation that would stop, that would insist on clear ballot language. But that's not what it is at all. The Secretary of State gets 3 chances to pick the ballot language, and if not, it goes to court, and then the court picks the ballot language. So we already have a system in place in Missouri to get clear ballot language. That's not the issue. The issue is here what this is, what you people signed on Saturday if you weren't paying attention because you were too busy drinking, because there was a little bit of that going on down there. What you signed was something that would ban initiative petition reform for all time. Missouri would always be the patsy of the country where anybody with $1 million could come in and buy their way onto the ballot and then lie about the issue and get something cemented into the Missouri Constitution. This is my conversation with the young lady. Yes, it was shot on an iPhone, so you have to listen carefully, but you will hear the questions that I'm asking her here.
What are we collecting signatures for? This is the Respect Missouri Voters Petition. This is to help require our ballot language to be clear and accurate when we go to vote, and also make it so our politicians can't make it harder for us to do this petition process.
So in other words, it's I was looking at somebody gave me one of your little pieces of paper. This is about preventing initiative petition reform, correct?
Yeah.
Are you telling people that when they sign it?
We are giving the spiel basically just like I did.
So you're not really being honest with people.
And then if they want more information, then I have this card.
And then if they want more information, I have this card.
It's like the commercial that says all the great things that the drug can do, and then the fine print it's like also may cause heart attack, stroke, internal bleeding, death. Yeah, that's what they do. That's their MO. Is they always say that this is going to do this and this and this, and then oh yeah, side note, there's these caveats to it. I remember when someone was trying to get me to sign the initiative petition for abortion. And as soon as I started challenging him on it, he got very frustrated with me. And I feel like that's it. They just are going around and they're hoping that no one's going to ask questions and that they can just get as many signatures as fast as possible. As soon as you start asking questions, they probably feel like it's not worth their time.
Completely deceptive. This continued for another minute or so. Listen.
I mean, I'm just asking because when I walked up to the other lady earlier, I said, "What's this about?" And she said, "It's about fair ballot language. Would you sign it?" But she didn't tell me that it's against initiative petition reform. until I ask a few more questions. So that's the full ballot language.
Yep.
So basically this would prevent initiative petition reform from being passed. Correct? It would prevent any further restrictions on initiative petition.
It makes it so our politicians can't make it harder for us to do the petition process.
Okay.
Yeah, so she admitted that. She admitted that. Then I asked her, "Are you getting paid?" And she showed me where she had checked the volunteer box on the sign, and she had a big sign on her back that said volunteer. I mean, she claims she wasn't getting paid, but the point is they were being deceptive. So be very careful if you're asked to sign anything when you're out and about, because this is how these people operate. I'm just telling you. All right, we're going to get to Kim on a Whim when we come back. Stay tuned.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Scott, I have a joke for you. What rhymes with contractor?
Best Buy Flooring?
Right, with our huge selection of carpet tile, sheet vinyl, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tile, laminate, and more. We have the flooring to complete any project.
Come check us out at our 3 locations, Hazelwood, O'Fallon, Illinois, and our newest location in South County on Tesson Ferry between 270 and 141.
Open 7 days a week.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Best Buy Flooring, we got the view.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Today, we'll find out how discount chain Dollar Tree held up in recent months after its competitor, Dollar General, reported higher sales and profit. Also, WW, formerly Weight Watchers, reports today. There are updates today on how the industrial side of the economy is holding up. The Empire State Manufacturing Survey measures activity in New York. There's also a report on industrial production. Dale Smothers, president and CEO at RDS Wealth, says investor focus remains on the Iran conflict.
The oil price is the linchpin in the short term for how this market will rally or die in this bull run. My bet, though, is that this oil price resolves itself sooner rather than later.
Lululemon reports earnings tomorrow. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Crazy weather we're having. And of course, we've got that wind advisory in effect until noon today. So if you are headed out, there are some light snow showers here and there throughout the area. Not the kind that sticks, just kind of blowing around. So bear that in mind. Now, we've had some electricity issues. And traffic signals reported throughout the area. Ramp from Rivas Barracks to southbound 55. Ramp from northbound 141 to Clayton Road. Telegraph at Yeager. 141 at Gravois. First Capital at 70. So just be aware you may run into some signal issues. At this hour, we are fine and looking quiet on the roads. This report is brought to you by the St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K and 1 Mile Fun Run. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Help us raise awareness for safe driving as the construction season kicks off with the St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K and 1 Mile Fun Run, Saturday, April 25th in Chesterfield. And please buckle up, phone down so we all get home safe. Brought to you by Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety.
All right, let's talk about your house and all the stinking rain we got yesterday. Man alive, it was pouring out there, and I'm happy because my basement is dry, and I'm fortunate because my basement is dry, but I've lived in a house where there were some water problems because of hydrostatic pressure. So when you know that in advance, it's just stressful because when you see a forecast like that and then it comes true and you get all the rain, you can fix all that today with one phone call. That's to Home Shield Foundation Repairs, 314-271-9900, 271-9900. Get you over to my friend Matt Hayes. He's the owner of this small family-run business, and he will get the job done right, and he's not there to beat you up for something you don't need. If it's drain tiles you need, puts them in. If it's a sump pump you need or you need to replace a sump pump, he can fix that. And he's got some pretty strong opinions on which sump pumps are worth your money and which aren't. So call him up and talk to him. Just tell him you heard Marc Cox bragging about him. I've known Matt for a few years now. Our kids go to school together, and you're going to enjoy working with him, and you can take his word for what he's telling you about your basement. 314-271-9900 or online anytime. It's HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norm Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
The pressure on data centers has never been greater. Whether you're expanding capacity, supporting AI workloads, or building new facilities, Graybar works alongside you with the solutions, specialists, and logistics expertise you need today. We help you power performance every step of the way, so your operation is ready now. Yep, Graybar does that.
Built in the heartland, for the heartland. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Kim on a Whim.
Kim on a Whim is proudly brought to you by Missouri Brush Control. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com.
We all know who we vote for then affects how much we're paying in taxes or whether it's acceptable for biological boys to go into the girls' bathrooms, things like that. That's the obvious stuff, right?
It matters.
I hope all of you realize that's what's impacted when you do or do not vote. But what you might not think much about is how much you're paying for energy costs. Your Ackerman bill could be impacted by who's in office. Because there was a study that was done that was looking at all the different states and how much the average energy cost is for a typical household. And it found some interesting stuff. It was saying that in total, 86% of the states with electricity prices above the national average in the United States are blue, meaning they voted for the Democratic nominee for president in the 2020 and the 2024 elections. In contrast, 80% of the 10 states with the lowest electricity prices are red, voted for a Republican candidate.
That might possibly be the most unsurprising news I've ever heard.
But how many people actually realize that?
I don't know, and the suckers in the blue states need to hear it because they clearly don't understand that people in red states aren't paying the kind of energy prices they are. Now, for some of them, it's okay because they think they're saving the planet, and they're kind of stupid like that. But others might be shocked to realize exactly how their crazy left-wing politicians are killing them on their budgets. They're getting money out of you in ways you had no idea. I'll never forget during the Obama administration, because of their ridiculous scrubbing requirements they were putting on these coal-burning power plants, Ackerman just started shutting them down. Coal-burning power plants in Illinois just started shutting down, which means it affects the grid because all these grids are interconnected. They all buy energy from each other when they have extra demand, and suddenly when there's extra demand and not enough supply, what happens? Prices go up.
Right.
That's exactly what happens. It's happened all over the state of Illinois, for sure, where they were happy to adopt whatever policies the crazy Obama administration instituted. Look at California. I've got an article here, Kim. It's funny. I was just reading this yesterday, that the Trump administration has ordered California offshore oil operations to resume. This is something the state of California shut down because they were afraid it was a threat to the environment.
Maybe they wanted to. Remember the fish that Gavin Newsom, some rare fish that Newsom was trying to save, and that was why they didn't have any. They didn't have any water or something like that when all those fires started breaking out in California. Remember that?
Yeah.
Some rare fish.
Well, here's the other problem. They have the opportunity here to produce 50,000 barrels of oil a day. It would be a 15% increase to California's in-state oil production, and it could replace 1.5 million barrels of foreign crude each month. This is what these morons have done. This is what you need to understand. It's what Germany did in Europe, right? Germany shut down all of its nuclear power plants and all of its refineries, and then they started buying oil from Russia. This happened back in 2015. Trump went to him and said, Angela Merkel, are you nuts? Why would you become energy reliant on Vladimir Putin? Don't do that. Mm-hmm. And they did it anyway. Well, look at the situation they're in now. When they buy oil from Russia, they're funding the war against Ukraine, but at the same time giving money to NATO to buy military items to help Ukraine fight Russia. It's dumb. California's doing the same thing. They're reliant on foreign oil because they don't want to pump what they've got in the ground out of the ground, out of fear it might damage the environment somehow.
Right.
It's just dumb.
And I was reading into this because it's interesting to me. It says the Federal Power Act is what Congress enacted that allowed the states to be the ones to hold the power to regulate the way that electricity is generated. So like you were saying, Mark, a lot of these states, like California, these liberal states, they're saying, a certain percent of it has to be renewable energy. Well, that's driving up prices. It's very interesting because, again, it's and I agree with you. It's something that seems obvious, but how many of us actually think about that? The amount of money that you're paying depending on who you want to put in office. When people sit here and they say these elections don't matter, yes, it does. It matters in a lot more ways than you're possibly thinking.
Yes, it does. The energy secretaries wanted to announce this effort, this declaration of an emergency, the Defense Production Act, to force them to start pumping oil again. Of course, who lost his mind over this? Gavin Newsom. he's going to sue over this. You can't put our coastline at risk and blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah. 60% of the oil refined in California right now comes from overseas, according to the Department of Energy, with a significant share of it traveling through the state of Hormuz, presenting serious national security threats. So these idiots shut down their own oil production in California. Now they're completely reliant on 60% on foreign nations to bring them oil, even though the country, as a nation, we're energy independent right now.
Right.
Not in California. That's why their energy
crazy.
prices are so high.
It says, listen to this. It says, according to Lawrence Berkeley National Labs, each of the top 5 most expensive states for electricity have mandates requiring 100% of their power to come from renewable or carbon-free sources, making their electricity unnecessarily more expensive. It's these mandates that are driving up prices across America. So we can all be worried about what's to come with these data centers because, like it or not, they're coming. And I get why a lot of people are mad about this. I wouldn't want a data center in my backyard. They're ugly, and there is concern about how much our energy bills are going to go up, despite some companies saying, hey, we'll foot the bill for it. Water, there is an impact if these go in. But we're at a point here in the United States with technology. This is the future. These data centers have to go somewhere. And so prices are already going up. We had a law just passed last year here in Missouri, which surprised me, and I know you did not like this either, where Ackerman, for example, these utility companies can start charging us, the customers, while these plants are being built. So instead of increasing our prices and having us pay for it after it's done and already built, you're paying for it in the building process. That's ridiculous to me. I don't understand why that's a thing, but it's a thing as of last year. Do you remember this?
Well, the governor signed it.
I know he did. Governor Kehoe, hats off to Kehoe. I have been impressed with him. He's done some really good things, I think, so far. I did not understand that one.
I didn't understand that one. I didn't agree with his decision on the stadium thing either. I thought we were chasing billionaires there who had already clearly, just like the Rams, made their mind up to relocate to another state. The Cardinals may benefit from it at some point. The Taylor family may benefit from it at some point here in St. Louis. But again, you can't agree 100% on everything. Yeah, the utility bills going up, not a surprise. Saw that coming. They no longer have to go back and beg the Public Utility Commission to let them raise your rates. They can just say, hey, we're going to spend X amount of dollars on a plant in 10 years. We're going to start charging you now for that before any construction ever gets started.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Zohran Mamdani can figure out what to do because New York had 58% higher prices than the national average, 62% higher than Florida. California's electricity rate's second highest in the nation, double the national average.
If we could just regulate rents in New York and charge rich people more, it would fix the problem. That must be what's driving up the costs.
It has to be.
These people they're just dense. I don't know, honestly. Kim and I have had discussions about restarting the Wednesday segment that we did for the longest time on the show called The Bottom Line, where I would invite liberals to come on and join us. We started running out of liberals. I had one or two people who would regularly do it, and the rest of them refused to come on because they can't defend their positions. And I'm happy to have you have to have conversations with people, but find me a liberal that could explain this, that could possibly defend this nonsense. They're too busy out driving their Priuses around and slapping stickers that say F Elon on other people's cars.
They would say it's worth it to pay more in electricity costs in order to save the planet. That's exactly what they would say to you. Do you not care about the planet, Mark? Do you want all those exotic fish to die?
If brains were dynamite, they couldn't blow their nose. Just saying. All right, we're going to get to a quick break here. We got so much to talk. We got so much stuff we haven't even touched on yet. The state getting rid of the income tax. There's a major debate going on right now within conservative circles as to whether or not this bill is legitimate, is correct, if it's doing something that supporters say it's not doing. There are people out there lobbying against elimination of the state income tax right now because they don't think the bill does what it says it's going to do. We're going to kick that around a little bit and talk about a guest I got coming up in the 7 o'clock hour when we come back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, believe it or not, we are looking good on the roads at this hour. Now, there have been some signal issues, some power outages throughout the area, of course, to blame. First Capital at 70, 141 at Gravois, Telegraph at Yeager, that sort of thing. The ramp from northbound 141 to Clayton Road, and the ramp from Rivas Barracks to southbound 55. You may encounter some flashing lights this morning is the point. But at this hour, we have such light traffic that things are moving fine. Just know it's super windy, and you may run into some light blowing snow, but it doesn't appear to be sticking at this hour. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, let's talk about how you got to work this morning if you're already out driving around. I tell you what, man. My truck is dependable. I love it. I chose about 5 years ago to get a truck with a diesel engine in it, and it's great. It's a workhorse. It pulls my trailer like it's not even back there. If you work for a living and you have a truck and you have a diesel truck, you probably love it too. But when you need service, that can be a challenge because you have to find somebody who's a great diesel mechanic. And I'm just telling you, Shelton Automotive Group is one of the best kept secrets in town. They're out near Warrenton. And they don't have a store right on the highway out there, but I'm telling you, it's easy to get to, and they have some of the best diesel mechanics in the area working on light and medium-duty diesel trucks. So they can get you in, they can get it fixed, get you back on the road for whatever you use your truck for. Now, they also sell diesel work trucks and some medium and light duty trucks, and they've all been checked out by their mechanics and they're ready to go. They can provide some business financing for you on those work trucks. So if you're looking for Power Stroke, Duramax, Cummins Motors, dependable trucks, and you love driving a diesel, you need to discover Shelton Automotive Group out there off Spady Road in Warrenton. Here's their phone number, 314-202-4060. Tell Grant that I sent you. This is a family-owned company. You're going to love working with them. Or check them out online. You can look at their whole inventory right there and make an appointment. It's SheltonAutogroup.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
License number GL2500615.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Home power used to be simple. Now the car plugs in, the scooter plugs in, the space heater plugs in, and your electric panel starts popping.
That sounds bad, but I like popcorn.
Popcorn is great, sparks are not. Call Grasser. We'll upgrade your panel so you can run it all.
Electric and plumbing, the Grasser way.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
If you need to sell your home to buy a new home, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty on your side, fighting for every dollar for you. Check out thegelmanteam.com. That's thegelmanteam.com.
Marc Cox is St. Louis Conservative.
Great to find out first thing on a Monday morning that you suck. That's great. Welcome back. You listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Mark. That's Kim St. Ange, and we've got Drew Young in here filling in for Ethan, who's got a couple days off this week. Drew, you're doing a great job, my friend.
Still got time on the clock, so.
Absolutely. That's a good thing. We appreciate you. Seamless this morning. He walks in here, hasn't been in the studio in a while, and just takes right over. We appreciate you for doing that. I don't know. So somebody thinks I'm a Karen for complaining about the people gathering signatures.
Now,
I don't know.
Just to confirm.
Would you rather people lie to you to get you to sign something?
Mark, the person who thinks you're a Karen is the same person who says you suck.
I know. I'm just saying.
So,
I got thick
take
skin.
it for what it's worth.
I'm just saying. Yeah, this is it. And, of course, people think that the only way to support these data centers is to put them in orbit.
You know,
how would you – I assume if it was in orbit, it would run off solar energy, and then it would direct the beam back down to Earth. Like, how would you get the data? I assume just like Skylink, you would have to get it all back to Earth. Starlink? What I call it?
Is that what you're talking about Elon Musk's thing? Yeah, Starlink.
Did I call it Skylink?
Right?
What did I call it?
Yeah,
Skynet?
it's Starlink.
Skynet. That's
Some
it.
variation
That's
of
what
that.
I was thinking of.
You know, I keep hearing so much about this AI stuff. I've kind of been in the camp that I don't feel like the Trump administration has done enough to set regulations with it, that they've just kind of been like, oh, yeah, this is great. I have concerns about it, but I also understand the argument that, look, other countries are doing this. China's doing it. If we don't get ahead of it, then we will be the sore losers. And at the same time, this argument of, okay, if we're implementing all this AI, we'll lose jobs. But I heard something over the weekend that was a really good point. When electricity was invented, all the candle makers, they were upset. Anytime there's something new, the people who were taking care of all the horses were mad when vehicles got invented.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look at the fact that we invented all of these things has created other jobs. So as long as we're following in that trajectory, it could be a good thing. It's just you see how much deception is coming out with this AI, even out of Iran. Look what they're doing. The new supreme leader is supposedly critically injured without a leg and in a coma in the hospital, but they were releasing images of him seeming completely fine. They're supposedly releasing images or videos or something to make it seem like more U.S. service members have been injured when they haven't.
Yeah. The president yesterday said that the other AI fake from yesterday was that some video showing 250,000 people gathering in Iran to show support for the Ayatollah. And the president said yesterday, you guys got suckered. That was AI generated. There aren't 250,000 people in Iran who support the Ayatollah and the Revolutionary Guard. And that's what the president said yesterday, that was AI. That video that the media was all sharing because they, I guess, were trying to make some anti-Trump point.
How do we know what to believe these days? This is like
tough.
Revelation type stuff.
Yeah.
Like where we're all deceived and we don't know up from down.
That is very true. Speaking of which, how do you feel about getting rid of the state income tax?
Well, I'd like it.
I think so. Most people would like it, and it makes a lot of sense. However, the bill that passed out of was it the House last week? Or was it the Senate?
I can't remember.
I'll get that before we get to the story, I promise you. But the bill, it hasn't gone through the other house yet, and it hasn't gone to the governor. But it would eliminate, over time, the state income tax. And there are some conservatives out there convinced that these are end times, and that what they've done is just allowed all the sales tax in the state to double, and you're going to get charged on your real estate transactions and all this other stuff. What's the truth? I've read through it. It can be confusing as hell, quite frankly, to read the wording of it. My friend Carl Bearden has read through it, and he believes he understands why they wrote it the way they wrote it. That there's language in there that to balance out so that one doesn't overtake the other, that if the income tax revenue is up high enough, the sales tax revenue has to be adjusted down. We got the Hancock Amendment. We got all of this other stuff involved in this. And we're going to have Carl on here at 7 o'clock this morning to kind of explain what he thinks they were doing in this bill. And I think it's important. I think there's some confusion out there about this, and there are a lot of people on the very conservative side of this platform, some of the probably most conservative people I know, who are just convinced that this bill does not do what it claims it's going to do. So we're going to have Carl on to talk about that at 7:08 this morning. So be sure and stick around for that. A little later, we'll talk about some of the newest technology that they've put in place to fight crime in the area. I think you're going to be pretty impressed with what they're doing out in O'Fallon and some other communities that have teamed up to do this. They're going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour. We've got Hans von Spakovsky coming up at about 6:20. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
The team at Ricken Financial want to help you make educated and informed decisions about your retirement strategies.
Why not rely on individuals who can optimize your thinking and optimize your plan and optimize all the resources and show you what's all available to be able to make a truly informed decision?
Call Ricken Financial today, 314-207-6211, or online at rickenfinancial.com, and join us for Kickin' with the Rickens, Sunday at 1 p.m. here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property with selective land clearing. Whether it's for a building site, pasture reclamation, hunting, or trail creation, Missouri Brush Control can transform your unusable acreage into accessible and productive property. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. 5-star rated on Google reviews. See impressive before and after projects today at MissouriBrushControl.com. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Tell them Bo Matthews sent you to MissouriBrushControl.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Many times, a person hires a law firm after an injury without doing research. It can be a big mistake or not. Sometimes, after you have hired a certain lawyer, you realize you made a certain mistake. But guess what? Just because you hire them doesn't mean you can't fire them. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you think you've hired the wrong firm, you may have. So do this. Google Morgan & Morgan results or visit forthepeople.com for cases just like yours. You may find that our full-service injury firm should have been your choice in the first place. Last year, almost 12,000 people discharged their law firm and hired us after further research. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com today and let's get started. Or call Pound Law on your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
President Trump wants our allies to help keep oil flowing and shipping. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, wanting a coalition to protect ships in the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran's been blocking, telling reporters last night while flying back to Washington.
It'd be interesting to see what country wouldn't help us with a very small endeavor, which is just keeping the strait open.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv.
The Strait of Hormuz has been under threat by the Iranian regime since this war began. And so President Trump is calling on international countries that use this critical waterway to participate in securing it. We've not yet seen many countries say they're willing to do so, and actually some have rejected this request by President Trump. But we can expect the White House today to encourage countries to participate in this coalition, and also some of those Gulf countries, Bahrain, the UAE, and Qatar, that are taking incoming fire, likely considering this offer from President Trump.
Now, oil prices are down a little this morning. Gas up another 2 cents. The price at the pump has surged 73 cents since the conflict started, when it continues the 17th day with the U.S. and Israel hitting Iran with more airstrikes, Iran countering with drone attacks in other Gulf countries. Parts of the Midwest are snowed under, with blizzard warnings from Iowa to Illinois up through Wisconsin and Michigan, where Fox Weather's Jane Menard is in Traverse City.
We had horrible conditions yesterday across the Great Lakes, the upper Midwest, with record snow in Green Bay, across the UP of Michigan. Expecting these blizzard conditions to continue through the rest of the day today. Here in the upper lower, we're expecting power outages to remain a big concern.
There are more than 100,000 homes and businesses in Michigan that have lost power. At the Oscars, the biggest winner was also Best Picture.
The Oscar goes to One Battle After Another.
That movie won 6 Academy Awards on ABC, including Best Director. Sean Penn got Best Supporting Actor. Sinners won 4 Oscars with Michael B. Jordan, Best Actor. Jessie Buckley, Best Actress for Hamnet. Amy Madigan, Best Supporting Actress for Weapons. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Welcome into Monday, March 16th. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. Just 29 degrees now at 6:03. Thankfully, power is coming back on for thousands of people on both the Missouri and Illinois side who had theirs knocked out during Sunday's storms. As of this morning, I checked. The Ameren map shows there are still, though, dozens without it, but thankfully not thousands. Now, there have been some reports of minor damage across the metro, things like power lines and trees snapped. Thankfully, no reports of any injuries. As that severe weather was rolling in, the Lincoln County Emergency Management Agency says some of the warning sirens did not go off. 911 dispatch in that area says sirens in Troy, Moscow Mills, and Winfield never went off. They did, however, go off in Hawk Point and Ellsbury. EMA says the sirens are owned by each jurisdiction, so it's up to them to repair the sirens. A violent weekend here in St. Louis as some drivers were caught in the middle of a shootout. Police say a 24-year-old and 27-year-old who was a convicted felon were involved in that shootout early Sunday morning. Police still looking for the other gunman. On Saturday night, police responded to Broadway and Halls Ferry where hundreds of young people were gathered when someone started shooting. A 14-year-old injured in that shooting. Investigators say there were several street takeovers throughout St. Louis over the weekend. In sports, Robert Thomas scored for the Blues with just 9 seconds left in overtime, leading to their 3-2 win over the Oilers. It was Selection Sunday. Mizzou, a 10 seed, will face Miami right here in St. Louis. SLU is a 9 seed and will play Georgia. And Illinois is a 3 seed. They'll be taking on Penn in the first round. And finally, City SC lost to Los Angeles FC 2-0. 29 degrees now coming up on 6:05. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Thank you to Kayla for letting me know on X that there's a disabled vehicle northbound 270 at Manchester, and they've got the vehicle itself is on the right shoulder, but they've got the right lane closed while they try to deal with that and help that person out. Now, at this hour, it is not causing a major delay. Just be aware on your way by. The big weather issue this morning appears to be the wind and the fact that we do have some blowing snow showers here and there throughout the area, and signal problems just because of power outages, so you may encounter one of those. But at this hour, we've got light volume in general. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Well, there's no question we have had a seasonal shift in our weather. It's back to wintertime. Light snow and flurries around today. Very windy. Clouds dominate. The high 28. Wind chills, single numbers. Tonight, clear and very cold, down to 14. Tuesday, sunny and 37. Wednesday, partly sunny. Big time warm up Wednesday afternoon, 65. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Love that for us, the teens. That sounds really nice. Well, it's not much better right now. It's only 29 degrees at 6:06. You can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you wherever you go. Listen to the show anytime. Very simple. All you have to do is download our free Odyssey app.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, good morning to you. Welcome into the Marc Cox Morning Show on the 16th day of March. Hopefully you enjoyed your 314 day. I went to the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Defiance. Had a great time.
Nice.
Weather was perfect.
It was nice.
Got that in just before the winter returned, just before the third winter, and now it's going to impact us through St. Patrick's Day, the official one tomorrow. Anybody that's got plans outside heading into the weekend, good luck.
You know, I plan to go to the parade. I think it's Old St. Charles, and I was all excited about it. I was telling Easton about, oh, buddy, you get to see a fire truck and they'll throw candy out, and it's going to be terrible weather. I wish they could just move it to Thursday and Friday when the weather's supposed to be beautiful again.
I know that's a great point. You just got to wait. Wait it out. It'll change. Here we go again. We're having big games from the NCAA this weekend. I got somebody mad at me earlier because I talked about sports apparently too close to the top of the show. Here's the deal. If it's happening in the news, there's a very good chance we're going to talk about it, right? We try to cover the biggest stories that are happening. That's a big one. The fact that Mizzou is getting to play basically at home, even though they're a few miles from Columbia. That's a pretty big deal. And, of course, I'm excited because Kentucky's playing as well, and we get the focus of the nation for a couple of days right over here at the Enterprise Center on Friday and again on Sunday when those games are when the winners get to play again. So that's good. That's big news that happened last night. Kim, I'm sure you were up late watching the Oscars. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
Do you lose any sleep over that?
No.
Neither would I. I would never, ever even tune in for even a second of that garbage. I can tell you that I did have to see what stupid decisions they made about the Oscars last night, though. And Drew, I have to ask, did you see any of these movies? Did you see Sinners?
No, I did not.
Did you see One Battle After Another?
Nope.
Those were the two big winners from last night. I saw part of Sinners.
I never even heard of either of those.
It was a cinematic. I mean, it was well shot. It was a well shot movie. I like Michael. What's his name?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan is a good actor. He did a good job in that. It's a horror movie, which I'm not a big fan of. But cinematically, it was an interesting movie. That won several awards last night. One Battle After Another. I've seen a couple of movies in my life that I would honestly say were the worst movies I've ever seen, and One Battle After Another is in the top 2 or 3 on that list. Can I just tell you that? And in Hollywood, it has won multiple awards, which just shows you the dramatic upside down we're living in these days. This movie is awful. It's got Sean Penn, and he won like Best Supporting Actor for this movie last night. And he plays some psychotic military lieutenant colonel who's obsessed with some revolutionary. I mean, it's just awful. It's just an awful movie. My wife and I sat through about an hour and 45 minutes of it and then turned it off. We didn't even care how it ended. It was so awful.
Yeah, that's when you know a movie's bad, is you're willing to get up in the middle of it. Because sometimes I feel like I have to finish it if I started it. Man, if it really sucks, though, it's torture sitting there.
Do not waste
longer
your time on that one, at least. If you like horror movies, you might like Sinners, but man, one of that was just. And of course, they got political. Had Conan O'Brien on there making his little snide remarks, and and just in case you missed it, here's part of that. Hold on here, because Conan O'Brien is about as far left as anybody in Hollywood, and he's gonna do the bidding of all the lefties up there. So this is Conan.
I should warn you, tonight could get political, okay? And if that makes you uncomfortable, there's an alternate Oscars being hosted by Kid Rock. Yeah, it's at the Dave & Buster's down the street. A lot of tickets for that.
Yeah. So that was Conan's
that's
little
kind
dig.
of that's kind of funny.
At the Super Bowl halftime show controversy.
I'll give him that. That's a
last
funny
night.
joke.
And they had some guy that I got to be honest with you, I guess I'd seen his face. I'd never heard of him before. Javier Bardem. He's a Spanish actor. So we know Spain these days. Spain is potentially worse than France when it comes to being an ally of the United States, if that's possible. This is how Javier got up to announce some category, and of course he was the first one to say this last night.
No to war and free Palestine.
Seriously,
And
they're still at it. The applause went on for 45 seconds or a minute after that.
Wow. That just tells you where all those actors and actresses are, at least the
La La
vast
Land.
majority of them. I saw some girl I know back from my Des Moines days when I used to work there, and it was like Oscar-themed treats, and they had like a Pop-Tart looking thing, and on the Pop-Tart it said F ice.
Oh.
And obviously spelled out the word, but you know. My gosh.
Yeah. Well, that's why we don't watch those shows, but I'm gonna take one for the team there, and I watched a few clips from it anyway for you. Just absolutely awful. All right, we got lots to get to this morning. We're going to talk to my friend Carl Bearden a little later about what is and what isn't in the bill that would eliminate the state income tax. There's some debate in conservative circles over that. We're going to try to get to the bottom line of that one for you. Our friend Dan Buck will join us about 7:35 this morning. We're going to talk to a couple of folks who work out for the O'Fallon Police Department. They've just started some amazing center out there that several cities have gone in and combined on this, and it's going to take law enforcement in St. Charles County to a new level, I believe, with their ability to respond quickly to crime scenes and fire scenes. We're going to talk about that at about 8:20 this morning. Our friend Hans von Spakovsky is coming up next. But right now, Drew, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
Democrats have tried multiple times to try to get TSA, CISA, the Coast Guard funded.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've tried multiple times. Cory Booker, they're suggesting that it's Republicans' fault that DHS is shut down. No, it's not. Democrats had agreed to all of this spending until they thought they saw a political advantage on the ICE issue, and now they're refusing to fund the police.
This is an issue about ICE, not anything to do with TSA.
Yeah, James Clyburn. Anybody buying what James Clyburn is selling there? You need to fund it all, James, and then come back later and talk about policy. The president and the leaders in Congress have got you exactly where they want you.
Well, I think they'll back him for a little while, but they're not going to back him forever.
Newt Gingrich bringing some hard truth last night. That's true. I mean, if this thing drags on another month or two, the president's going to start taking a whole lot more heat. But I've got an AP headline in front of me this morning that says 2 weeks in, the president is back on his political heels over what's going on in Iran. Anybody buying that? I don't think so.
So the other day I found out that the CIA is preparing some kind of criminal referral against me, a crime report, to the Department of Justice on the basis of a supposed crime I committed. What's that crime? Well, talking to people in Iran before the war.
Interesting. Tucker Carlson there. I'm sure you recognize the voice. Kim, had you heard this story at all?
Yep.
So,
he says he's not worried about it.
There were memes going crazy this weekend suggesting that the president was once again playing 3D chess, and everybody was wondering, why did he keep having Tucker around? Why did he keep inviting Tucker to events when Tucker was blasting him behind his back and not behind his back, on the radios? Everybody could hear what he was saying about these things. And then all of a sudden they felt it was some sort of a devious trick to get Tucker to confer with the Iranians or something, and now the DOJ is investigating him. So I don't know what all's behind it. I'll play you a little more from Tucker on that coming up here in a few minutes. And, of course, he's not sure he's going to end up being charged with anything, but he thinks it's a form of intimidation that he's even being investigated.
I would agree.
So we will that's his take on the whole thing. We'll get to all that for you. Plus Hans von Spakovsky right after this break.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, well, we've had a couple of issues out there. There was a stall northbound 270 near Manchester. We've had a couple of things like that, but it's really not causing a delay. It's super windy. We've got some blowing snow, really light in some areas, but just not enough drivers to create any kind of jam at this hour. So we look good on northbound 55. No delays, eastbound 70 or 6440 from out west into downtown. Quiet through North County and looking good on the bridges if you're headed in from Illinois. This report brought to you by Artistic Decks. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Is here. Don't wait until June to fix that old deck. Artistic Decks is offering rollback prices and expert craftsmanship for our 25th year. A-plus BBB rated TimberTech Platinum installers. Artistic Decks, making dreams affordable. Call 314-280-0821 for a free consult.
This is Don Tracy, Republican candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Election day is on March 17th, and I'm asking you to vote now because the American dream is under attack in Illinois. My Democrat opponents have driven up the cost of living for all of us and made life more unaffordable. Working families need a strong leader who will champion common sense solutions over far-left extreme agendas. I'm Don Tracy, running for U.S. Senate to defend the American dream. Learn more at DonTracyForIL.com. This message is paid for by Don Tracy for Illinois NFP.
We talk a lot about common sense policies here on this radio show, no doubt about that. How about some common sense when it comes to dentistry? My friend Dr. Michael White has been doing that for years, and I would encourage you to check out his practice at Sunset Hills Dentist down in beautiful Sunset Hills. They're not far from Lindbergh and Watson and Lindbergh and 44. If you're familiar with that, should be, I'm sure. It's easy to get to. And for many years, Dr. White has been focusing on keeping his prices affordable and making sure that that's not a barrier to you getting dental work done, and also making sure that if you have a fear concern, you had a bad experience at some point as a child or as an adult, that's not also keeping you from putting off your dental work. He's very conscious of that, and they will make this as pain-free as humanly possible at his office. So call him up. Tell him you heard Marc Cox bragging about it. My family and I have been going there for years now. 314-270-8552, 270-8552. Online, anytime. You can set your appointment at sunsethills.dentist.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Triton Exteriors, St. Louis Roofing, Siding, and Gutter Systems. We'll take care of you and your home. We're #1 in the Ladue, Kirkwood, and Webster area. James Hardy certified. Visit Triton.stl.com to be connected with a James Hardy expert and receive a free estimate. Triton-stl.com or call 314-717-1159. That's 314-717-1159. Triton Exteriors, St. Louis #1 James Hardy specialists.
You can feel the Clydesdales circling the field. Hear the stands come alive.
Smell the hot dogs, the popcorn, and cold beer in the air. See the crowd rise as the first pitch hits the glove. And just like that, a new season begins. The countdown is on until opening day, and tickets start at just $49. Don't miss St. Louis's favorite holiday. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/opening day.
Hot matchup, colder drinks, only at Busch Stadium when the Cardinals host the Tampa Bay Rays on Sunday, March 29th. Fans will take home a stainless steel Cardinals tumbler presented by Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. Designed to lock in the cold and show off your Cardinals pride, it's the perfect companion for 9 innings and beyond. A practical addition to any Cardinals collection that'll keep you cool all game long. Tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Nolan Gorman. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hans von Spakovsky, the former emperor of the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
All right, lucky to have Hans von Spakovsky back with us as we do every Monday morning, Advancing American Freedom Senior Legal Fellow. Hans, good morning.
Good morning to you, Mark.
I know just before the end of the last segment, I played this soundbite from Tucker Carlson. Let me play it again for people that didn't hear it.
So the other day I found out that the CIA is preparing some kind of criminal referral against me, a crime report, to the Department of Justice on the basis of a supposed crime I committed. What's that crime? Well, talking to people in Iran before the war.
Yeah, I just saw this story pop up over the weekend, and he's talking about the possibility of them charging him as a foreign agent, or at least they're investigating it. No charges have been filed. I want to be clear about that. But what is that charge? What would the allegation be there?
Well, there's a federal law called the Foreign Agent Registration Act. And what it says is that you have to register with the Department of Justice if you're acting under the direction or control of a foreign principal and you're doing things like conducting a public relations campaign, lobbying federal officials, distributing information. So, look, there's nothing illegal about talking to foreign officials, including in places like Iran, but if you talk to somebody in Iran and they basically hire you to conduct a public relations campaign on their behalf in the U.S. or to lobby U.S. officials, then you have to register. It's not illegal to do it, but the FARA is basically a public disclosure law. They want to be sure that folks know that if you're, for example, saying nice things about Iran, if you're being paid to do it, if you're under the supervision of an Iranian to do it, then you got to register.
Is that the one that Hunter Biden registered under?
Yes, that's exactly the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was the one he was supposed to register under, yes.
I thought so.
But Tucker was saying he doesn't seem that worried that they would actually charge him with that, right? To me, I would agree with that. It seems like it's more of a threat. Like, is that even enacted very often? That has to be kind of rare.
Well, it was that law was very rarely enforced until recent years and recent administrations. Look, these days with Tucker Carlson, I have to wonder whether this is like a publicity stunt. How would he know that the CIA is supposedly preparing a criminal referral on him to the Justice Department?
Yeah, that's a good point. And ask Paul Manafort about that, right? Isn't that what they convicted him of?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I thought so. Hey, I read where in Michigan that the guy that drove into the synagogue, Israel is reporting that this guy's brother is a leader in Hezbollah. And to me, this speaks to the bigger issue of why we continue to let people into this country without vetting them more clearly. Hans, and of course you're accused of being a Islamophobe and all of that the minute you bring that up. But my goodness, here's one more example of it.
Yeah, it is, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, but when the Biden administration came in, they changed the rules of the Department of Homeland Security to say that DHS officials were not allowed, if you can believe this, to check the social media postings of people who were applying to get into the country or members of their family. It's as if they didn't want to know or to find out about things like that. And our standards have been way too loose on who we allow in the country now for, unfortunately, too many years.
I would agree with that completely. Hans, your partner John Malcolm there at Advancing American Freedom had a post the other day because I've asked this question often. Do you think the 2020 election-related prosecutions are over? Think again. He's talking about something going on in Wisconsin now, right?
Right. Actually, that was a joint piece that he and I wrote about the fact that the Wisconsin Attorney General, who's this politically ambitious Democrat, I mean, he's the Fannie Willis equivalent in Wisconsin. He's still trying to prosecute lawyers who were working for Trump in the 2020 election. And look, everything they were doing was completely legitimate. In fact, remember, Wisconsin had a recount that ended up going all the way to the Wisconsin State Supreme Court, and they decided that Wisconsin had gone for Biden in a 4-3 vote.
Wow!
So it was not a frivolous claim. At least 3 of the state court judges agreed with him, and yet he's still prosecuting. By the way, his own legal staff issued an opinion saying there was no violation of Wisconsin law. He just overrode them and has been criminally pursuing, to the point of bankruptcy, these lawyers who, like I said, they were just doing what lawyers are supposed to do, represent the client.
Not surprising there at all. Hans, you have yourself a great week. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Hans von Spakovsky with Advancing American Freedom. We'll be back in just a minute.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsley, and this is the sound of our attorneys walking into court. Because when an insurance company offers a lowball settlement, we go to trial, prepping endlessly, interviewing witnesses. We know the loss and the cost of an accident, and when it's needed, we go to war for you and take the fight to the insurance company, because we've been in your shoes. Kaufman Townsley, real people, real results. Call 314-777-7777.
Bringing a data center online takes more than equipment. It takes precision. Graybar helps customers predict, stage, schedule, deliver, and verify every step of the build with critical products that are available now. From networking and wireless to critical power and testing tools, our teams help you reduce downtime risk and keep projects on track. Speed, scale, ready now. Yep, Graybar does that.
Hey, Hanson's Tree Service is working hard all over the state of Missouri right now. Now, if you're in the sound of my voice, they can take care of whatever's going on in your yard. But they're also now operating in Jefferson, in the Lake of the Ozarks, right, and in Branson. They've been in Branson for many years. They've now started up a branch. Pun intended, of Hanson's Tree Service down in the Lake of the Ozarks. And, of course, you can depend on them here, as you always can. You're going to want to book your work to get any tree trimming done before the end of March, because they're still offering a 10% winter discount. If you get a hold of them and let them know that you heard Marc Cox talking about this and you want to get on their winter discount list, it's only through the end of March, though. Call them at 636-379-1830. That's 379-1830. And, of course, you can always check them out online. It's hansonstree.com.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. 29 degrees now, 6:31. A Belleville shopping plaza became the scene of a deadly shooting over the weekend. Police say a 20-year-old man died after getting shot Sunday afternoon around 4 o'clock in the 5500 block of Belleville Crossing. 2 people are now in custody. A dog attack has landed a woman and a child in the hospital. Granite City Police responded to the 2100 block of Monroe Street around 1:30 Saturday morning, where 2 dogs were supposedly attacking the woman and child. Investigators say the dogs were aggressive and made helping them unsafe, so they killed the dogs. In sports, Blues beat the Oilers in overtime 3-2. It was Selection Sunday. Mizzou, a 10 seed, facing Miami right here in St. Louis. SLU, a 9 seed, facing Georgia in the first round. Illinois is a 3 seed and will take on Penn in the first round. And City SC lost to Los Angeles FC 2-0. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Bad commute this morning, and I know that sounds weird just because the weather is so crazy and it's super windy. We've got that wind advisory in effect until noon today. We've had a couple of issues, but none of them has really caused a delay. Northbound 55, still light traffic from down south, just about to Weber Road, where the construction zone starts to narrow. And then things open up into downtown. No problems on the Illinois side at this hour. And for the most part, we're quiet on the Missouri side as well. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
How would you like a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter of St. Louis, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer? Give yourself peace of mind now by calling for a free estimate. 314-499-2020 or GeneratorSupercenterofStLouis.com.
All right, let's talk about your flooring for a minute. How about that? Because, man, I don't know about you, but nothing I hate worse than watching the dog track mud and rain and maybe snow today back into the house. What happens when they walk through your door? Is it tile? Is it carpet? Depending on what you have right there can make a big difference. You want to make sure you got the right flooring in the right place. Michael's Flooring Outlet has always given us great advice over the years, and I hear that so often from my listeners who go to one of their 3 locations, and people start to work. They're not newbies, right? They've worked there for 15, 20 years. Michael's been around going on 30 years, and they give you great advice on flooring, on what's available, on what the trends are, on what works well in the right areas, like maybe the Mohawk waterproof flooring that they have up there, which is great. Looks like regular, beautiful hardwood, impervious to water. It's got a pet warranty, all that great stuff. Ask them about it the next time you go. If you're shopping, pay them a visit. Stop in Old Town St. Peter's in Darden Prairie or just off of Olive west of 270. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. It's IGotFloored.com.
Your home deserves siding that's as tough as it is beautiful. At Lakeside Renovation and Design, we install James Hardie siding, built to handle everything the St. Louis weather throws its way, rain, snow, or summer heat. Not only does it look amazing, but it also protects your home with long-lasting durability and low maintenance. Plus, with our expert team, you'll love the seamless installation process. Ready to give your home a stunning upgrade? Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today or visit lakesiderd.com. Protect your home with the siding that's built built to last.
If you live in Missouri, have Medicaid, and need a caregiver, this message is important. Care at home is personal. That's why you may not want a stranger in your home to take care of you. You want someone who already knows you and your daily routines. With Freedom Care, you choose a trusted family member, a friend, or a neighbor. They will get paid after every shift to care for you, and it's 100% free to you. More than 70,000 people have already joined the Freedom Care family. Call your local Freedom Care. They'll check your Medicaid eligibility. Don't wait until a stranger shows up at your door. If you have Medicaid and need help at home, this care is available 100% free to you. Call Freedom Care now to see if you qualify. 314-343-1362. 314-343-1362. That's 314-343-1362.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
If you're looking for the best eye care in St. Louis, look no further than the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer. Make your appointment today at youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
From Alton to Wildwood, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, time for us to get a check of business. I guess Nicole Murray's still recovering from her lengthy vacation to the Dominican Republic. Dom Savino in with us this morning. Dom, how are you?
I'm good, Mark. How are you?
Doing fine. Hey, we are celebrating here in St. Louis, my friend. I always talk sports with Dom because of his Rutgers sports connection, but we got Mizzou is going to get to play in St. Louis on Friday night, and man, the fans around here are fired up about that.
I know. Isn't that incredible? I love it when the selection committee gets something right for
Yes,
once.
thank you. And the only disappointment is that they didn't let SLU play here as well. They sent them off to Buffalo somewhere.
All right. Okay. So
Yeah,
they're not in they're not in Los Angeles or Seattle or something, right? They didn't ship them to the other side of the coast at least.
It's always cold in Buffalo, though. I don't know about that. So do you have a favorite going into this tournament, Dom?
I would love to see a Big Ten team win. You mentioned do the games at Rutgers.
Yes.
Folks who follow the Big Ten probably know this.
Purdue?
Big Ten, yeah, sure. Purdue, Michigan, somebody, anybody. The Big Ten has not had a champion in the NCAA men's tournament since like 2000.
Oh. Well,
Yes.
Illinois is a 3 seed.
I know.
And
yeah,
there seemed to be some contention yesterday that once again the SEC led with the most teams in the tournament.
Yeah. The other thing I'm very happy about is that Miami University in Ohio is in the field. They are in the first 4. They have to play to get into the tournament, but perfect regular season, 31-1. I was waiting for the selection committee to fumble them straight out of the bracket.
Wouldn't
They did not.
That would be awful. Now, I know that they play in the Mid-America Conference because I went to Miami of Ohio, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they kind of get, unless you win the tournament, which I don't know if that's an automatic bid, that tournament.
It is, yeah.
They got knocked out of the tournament, right?
Right.
So then they didn't get their automatic bid, and there were a lot of people speculating they may not get the respect they deserve there. Same with SLU. A lot of people were afraid they may not make it in, but they did. So
Yeah, thank
good.
goodness.
And no kidding. Hey, what's going on in business this morning?
Yeah, guys, we can start on Wall Street. Futures are slightly higher as oil slips back below $100 a barrel. Stocks are trying to start a comeback after 3 straight down weeks for the S&P 500. Investors, no surprise, are continuing to monitor the latest developments from the war with Iran. President Trump is trying to pressure other countries to help reopen the vital Strait of Hormuz, where an Iranian blockade has stopped the flow of oil tankers. And even though oil prices are lower for the moment, I do come bearing bad news for the gas pump. According to AAA, the average price of a gallon in the St. Louis area has bumped up again today. It's now $3.45 on the Missouri side and $3.74 on the Illinois side. Trade talks between the U.S. and China are due to wrap up today in Paris as the superpowers reset after last year's trade war sent tariffs spiraling. President Trump is supposed to visit Beijing later this month, but China is on that list of countries he's pushing to pitch in at the Strait of Hormuz, and so he may postpone that trip if China does not lend a hand. Illinois is among the more than 30 states that will resume their antitrust trial against Live Nation and Ticketmaster today. They failed to reach an agreement to join a tentative settlement reached by the Department of Justice. The states argue that the entertainment and ticketing juggernauts are squashing competition by owning a monopoly and using it to drive up prices for fans. Some 4,000 workers in Colorado are set to strike this morning at one of the nation's largest meat packing plants. The walkout would be the country's first at a beef slaughterhouse since the 1980s. As Americans navigate the rising costs of living, even the dollar store is hurting. Dollar Tree is out with a new sales forecast for the year, and it's largely below expectations. The discount chain follows rival Dollar General, which also signaled weaker demand last week as bargain-hunting shoppers get more selective. And guys, St. Patrick's Day is a day away. Krispy Kreme is ready to get festive. The donut maker is bringing back a whole lineup of holiday-themed donuts, including its green glazed donut. And today and tomorrow, the donut chain will hand out one free green glazed donut per customer who wears green in-store or heads through the drive-thru.
Wow. You going, Kim?
And why can't we have a company that sells something that's healthy give away, like free broccoli?
Because nobody would buy it.
You don't have to buy it. It's free. I'm
Nobody
not
would
saying,
go
okay,
to the trouble to get broccoli.
Broccoli is the first thing that came to my mind. Maybe that's not the best example, but something that's a little healthier than donuts. It's always the junk food. I mean, it's delicious, but it's terrible for you.
I'll never forget. I anchored news here for a while, Dom, at Channel 4, and years ago they constantly were bringing food in, and at the ballpark one year here, one of the new sandwiches they were introducing was a glazed donut as the bread for a big hamburger. Like it was hamburger and everything, and then a glazed donut on each side of it, basically. And they had to bring it. They brought it in on the set, and we all got to sample it. And I was the only one that seemed to enjoy it.
Sheesh.
It's good. Can you imagine the calorie count? I didn't even ask.
That's the way to handle it, in my opinion. Just don't worry about it. Try to do better the next day.
People in Europe are just probably dumbfounded that we even think that this is appropriate. I know Amy on Facebook is saying Kim St. Ange on the buzzkill, free broccoli for everyone. Broccoli is a terrible example, but something that's healthier.
Kim,
like a smoothie,
Yeah, Kim, you can have the salad. I will have the glazed
That
donut
is
for you,
fine.
don't worry.
That is fine.
All right. Hey, have yourself a great week, and best of luck to the Big Ten, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck to Mizzou, too. And SLU, as long as somebody fun wins, I'm okay.
There you go. All right, Don. Thank you.
Yes.
Take care.
All right, we'll see you.
Yeah, I'm sick of the same teams always winning. UConn, I'm sorry, and I know people probably felt like this about the Cardinals back in 2011 when we actually were winning World Series and people were so sick of the Cardinals doing really well. So they would root against them if whoever they were playing, they just wanted the underdog to win.
I know, but
I feel that way now, though. I'm sick of the same team winning.
The top seeds are all still the big dogs.
I know, but that's why I like these upsets. I love a good Cinderella story.
Yeah, I hate Gonzaga. Can I just mention that?
Why do you hate Gonzaga?
I hate Duke.
Well, okay, I can get Duke. But
I
why
hate Gonzaga because I remember for years they were the Cinderella team, and then they got to where they were good enough that they're not anymore. They're a contender every year now. So I've decided I don't like them.
Okay, well,
I don't like Duke.
You do you, Mark.
That's all right. But it's all right. I'm going to the game, so I'm happy. I'm not bragging. I'm happy about that. I just sent a text. I sent a text to my friend Matt Chambers this morning. I'm like, have they brought any extra security in for Templeton over there? Because I remember a few years back when there was tornado coverage of some sort, and it was interrupting a NASCAR event. And I mean, the hate calls we got into that newsroom. How dare you interrupt this for a weather alert? And these meteorologists are going to be unrepentant with you. They feel like they are doing a job that could save somebody's life. Mm-hmm. And even if the tornado is not in your neck of the woods, they feel like they have a responsibility to the people wherever the tornado alert is to let them know this thing's coming.
This severe weather is why a lot of the meteorologists even get into the industry in the first place. So this is their Super Bowl. Whenever something like this happens, man, they're ready to go. And I remember fielding some of the calls at different newsrooms I worked at when, like, The Bachelor or a soap opera was interrupted. And oh my goodness, the hateful words that were spewing out of these people's mouths. I'm like, how are you that upset that Days of Our Lives is not going to air right now, and you might have to wait until later? And then you make them even more angry when you tell them that it was going to air at like 4 a.m. You know, it was almost like they were trying to say, we'll do a make good and we'll just air it in the middle of the night. And people were fuming. You expect me to get up at 4 in the morning to watch my Days of the whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Days of Our Lives?
Yeah, but how dare you compare a soap opera to March Madness?
I'm not saying.
Come on.
I've already lost points with everybody because
kidding.
I said we should not give away free donuts. We should give away free broccoli. And now I've compared Selection Sunday to
Days of Our Lives. Come on. All right. Coming up, we'll get to you in other news. Top of the hour, we're going to talk about the elimination of the Missouri income tax. It's stirring some dispute, even among people on the conservative side of the spectrum who've always been against an income tax and they wanted it gone. Look, I'm against personal property tax myself. I'd like to see that gone. But there's now dispute over whether or not this is the best way to do it. We're going to talk to my friend Carl Bearden at about 7:08. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Windy out there this morning, but no major issues on the roads at this hour. We've had a couple of stalls out there. It's that kind of morning, and a little bit of blowing debris. But for the most part, we look good. Now, if you're a North County driver, things are fine through there. And eastbound 70 looks fine from Warrenton into downtown. 6440 is in good shape. We've got 44 looking good. Even northbound 55 through multiple construction zones is quiet at this hour. Northbound 270 looks good. And if you are headed in from Illinois on the bridges downtown, we're in good shape there as well. This report brought to you by St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K and 1 Mile Fun Run. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Help us raise awareness for safe driving as the construction season kicks off with the St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K and 1 Mile Fun Run, Saturday, April 25th in Chesterfield. And please buckle up, phone down so we all get home safe. Brought to you by Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety.
St. Louis, laugh it up with Jimmy Fallon live at the Factory on Saturday, April 11th. From national radio to sold-out comedy clubs, Jimmy delivers fast, fearless stand-up that hits home.
The only ones raising tough kids anymore. The redneck babies are going to take on ISIS. The hipster babies are going to battle the evil forces of gluten. You know what I'm saying?
Grab your friends and get ready for a night of laughs. One show, one night only. Don't miss Jimmy Fallon, April 11th at The Factory. Get your tickets now at thefactorystl.com. That's thefactorystl.com.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated. Member SIPC and NYSE.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Two sounds that can wreck your sleep. A drip and a toilet that won't stop running.
Drip, drip, all night.
Good news. We're doing plumbing now. Same folks, same care, same we do it right.
Leaky faucet, running toilet.
Or a stubborn clog, call Grasser.
Electric and plumbing, the Grasser way.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
If you're a regular listener of this show, then you know Mark has very strong feelings about McDonald's, but specifically the fact that they claim to be 24 hours and then they're really not because they shut down overnight. We won't get into that, but Mark, maybe you'll be happy.
Dog-faced pony soldiers is what they are.
Maybe you'll be happy and you'll want to go back after hearing that McDonald's is going to be releasing a new $3 or less menu. It's set to be released in April. They're also going to be releasing $4 breakfast meals, also starting in April.
Well, it's about time. And I guess, are we, like, instead of supersizing them to make them only $3, are they, like, downsizing them? Like, are they like a kid's portion or what?
Here's what it says for the breakfast, which I guess is part of this $3 deal. It says you'll get a sausage biscuit, hash browns, or a sausage McMuffin. The lunch and dinner option would be a 4-piece chicken McNuggets. That does not fill me up at all. That you might as well give me a small fry.
That's the kids'
A McDouble, a McChicken, or small fry. And then the $4 morning value meal includes a McMuffin, hash brown, and coffee.
There you go.
That's not horrible.
No, it's not horrible.
For $3.
It really isn't. I like a McDouble.
They're
I'm
trying
like
to
Pavlov. I just start salivating when you mention breakfast food at this hour.
and a quarter
Except
pounder
it's
with
tight.
cheese. They're trying to lure back the
Yes.
low-income customers because a lot of people stopped going when they realized that you're spending $10 on a McDonald's meal and you could go somewhere else and spend basically the same thing and get either more food or at least better quality food.
Or we could just get broccoli.
Sue, did you hear me say that?
No, I missed it.
Krispy Kreme is giving away free donuts or something, or a
If you were
free donut.
green
Okay,
for
if
St.
you were green
Patrick's
for
Day.
St. Patrick's Day. And I said, why do we always have to give away the unhealthy food? And I suggested broccoli. Now, I realize people won't go drive somewhere to go get broccoli.
Well,
but
that's good.
What did Richie say? Richie had the best comment in the morning.
I don't know, but I laughed out loud when I read it.
Instead of a bracket, Kim is filling out a vegetable pyramid.
Someone on the text line said, how about they just give us free money? Then I'll go buy my own broccoli.
Thank you.
There we go.
They never give that away, do they? All right, so I'm going to read this headline exactly. I'm going to read the lead sentence here exactly as it's written, just so you know. This is how it's written. A certain traveling beaver isn't passing with his current report card. That would be the headline about Buc-ee's restaurants, like the roadside convenience store, is getting an F rating from the Better Business Bureau.
Whoa.
28 of their stores got an F rating from the Better Business Bureau. I don't know if they didn't pay the fee to the BBB or what that was, but it says the Texas-based travel center failed to respond to 88 customer complaints.
Oh.
And similar to reviews like Yelp, anybody can submit a complaint about the business on the Better Business Bureau website. Of the 88 outstanding complaints, the oldest submission dates back to March of 2023. So the Better Business Bureau apparently dings you if you don't reply to these complaints.
You know, I'm not sure I really agree with that, because think about how many people just go and have no life and they're just complaining. They might not even be customers of Buc-ee's, but they just go and yap about different businesses.
Professional
thinking it's
Karens,
funny.
I
Yeah,
think
and that's
is
a
who you're talking
full-time job for these companies to have someone who's spending time just responding to complaints on Google or complaints on the BBB website.
It says common complaints about the Beaver-laden travel center include issues with the car wash. I didn't even know they had a car wash.
I didn't
Broken
either.
or
Same.
ineffective merchandise and erroneous card charges.
Nothing about the bathrooms, though, right?
Several customers also said they filed a complaint on the Buc-ee's website, but had not heard anything back from the company. Can I talk to the manager?
I still
Sounds
like
like there's a
I
lot
think
of that.
you've got to respond to that stuff, even if they're
Yeah.
nuts. You send off a nice email.
Thank you.
And you can't just let the people hang it. Okay, erroneous card charges, that's a big
That's
deal.
a big one. That's a bigger one, yes.
It sounds like more and more restaurants are starting to upcharge for condiments. There was some situation where some guy in Miami had posted a picture of his receipt, ended up going viral because he was charged $3 for a side of ketchup. And that's,
Wow.
I guess, what's happening more and more across the country, where maybe not $3, but it's $1 per dipping sauce is what's happening in parts of the country like Seattle. These restaurants, their margins are so razor thin in some cases that this is the way they're making it up.
You got it. Hey, I think I'm not surprised by this at all. I've been to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. That's pretty high-end dining, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't go in there as a couple and get out for under $200. I mean, generally speaking, everything's a la carte. The food's delicious. Don't get me wrong. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse says proper attire required in a dress code notice. I guess I'm a little surprised that this is news. Diners heading to their nearest Ruth Chris may want to think twice before topping off their outfit with a baseball cap. Who wears a baseball cap to an upscale steakhouse?
Mark.
I don't know.
You have seen this. People are completely lazy now.
Yep.
People show up in pajamas.
John
to
Fetterman
restaurants.
wears a sweatshirt and sweatpants for congressional hearings.
I know.
He's the kind of person who would wear a baseball hat to Ruth's Chris.
They're reminding guests that its dining rooms maintain a business casual dress code and that hats are not allowed at the table. According to a notice posted on the restaurant's website, guests are asked to remove hats upon entering. Those wearing ball caps may instead, I don't know, I guess they're able to take the cap off and store it until they're done eating.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's
But
a nice
usually
place.
if I'm wearing a ball cap, it's because I have hat hair and I don't want anybody to see it.
Well, gonna have to
I'm
wash
just
your
saying-
hair and style it.
I will not
go
go.
to
I wouldn't do that
McDonald's.
anyway. I would not go to a nice restaurant like that wearing a ball cap.
Don't look like a schlep.
You look
People
like
are
a
mad about
Hoosier.
the airlines. What was it? The one of the airports in Florida, Tampa or something.
Oh, yeah.
People are all mad about that. You can be comfy, but don't be a schlep.
Yes.
All right, coming up, friend Carl Bearden is going to join us. We're going to talk more about what is and what isn't in the bill that would end the state income tax in the state of Missouri. We'll be right back.
A lot of people are getting their air conditioners tuned up and ready to go for the summer, and we're getting a lot of calls of people saying they want a second opinion, to have us come out and requesting us to come out there and take a look at their air conditioners. They've been told that they need a new one, and the repair is quite costly, and it might be best for them to replace the air conditioner and then repair it. If you're in that situation, please give me a call, because there is truly some opportunities here for you that we could save you lots of money, because I'm sure you're going to be shocked. We have the equipment that still works best for you with your budget. It's pretty much the best. It's what I would put in my home. It's what I would recommend. Give me a call. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, the easiest number in Missouri and Illinois. That is 314-293-2600. Or the online thing, and that is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Smoke hangs over Iran's capital a 17th day. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. As the U.S. and Israel continue to hit Iran there and beyond.
These strikes have not only targeted Tehran, but also much of western Iran, where the launching positions and production facilities are for Iran's ballistic missile stockpile. And as it continues, each and every day, the Iranians are starting to run out of the critical missiles and drones that they are using to target not only Gulf countries, but also U.S. ally Israel.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. President Trump wants help from our allies to set up a coalition force to get oil shipping again through the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran's been blocking. The president telling reporters while flying back to Washington.
Nice to have other countries police that with us, and we'll help, we'll work with them.
Oil prices are mixed this morning, not moving much. A nasty storm keeps hitting the upper Midwest with blizzard warnings. Iowa to Illinois through Wisconsin and Michigan. Another 2,000 flights canceled today, about 1,600 more delays. But that's not the only problem. There continue to be long security lines at some airports because TSA agents continue to have to work without pay, with Homeland Security funding still blocked. So some haven't shown up.
The CEOs of major airline companies are now criticizing members of Congress for, as they say, once again making air travel a political football in another government shutdown, calling for lawmakers to come together to find a solution.
Fox's Madeline Rivera, they handed out the Oscars last night on ABC with one battle after another leading the way.
The big winner with 6 wins, including Best Picture. Sinners followed with 4 wins, including Michael B. Jordan for Best Actor, thanking those that paved the way.
Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington, Halle Berry, Jamie Foxx, Forrest Whitaker, Will Smith.
That clip courtesy of AMPAS 2026. Frankenstein took home 3 awards, K-pop Demon Hunters 2.
Fox's Michelle Polino, Sean Penn, Best Supporting Actor, Jessie Buckley, Best Actress for Hamnet. The Best Supporting Actress Oscar went to Amy Madigan for Weapons. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Good morning. Welcome into Monday. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. What a difference from yesterday. 29 degrees now at 7:03. The good news is power is coming back on for thousands of people on the Missouri and Illinois side who had theirs knocked out during Sunday's storms. As of this morning, the Ackerman map shows there are still dozens without it, but again, not thousands. There have been some reports of minor damage across the metro, talking about things like power lines and trees snapped. Thankfully, no reports of any injuries. As the severe weather was rolling in, the Lincoln County Emergency Management Agency says some of the warning sirens did not go off. 911 dispatch in the area says sirens in Troy, Moscow Mills, and Winfield never went off. They did, however, go off in Hawk Point and Ellsbury. EMA says the sirens are owned by each jurisdiction, so it's up to them to repair the sirens. A violent weekend in St. Louis as drivers in some cases were caught in the middle of a shootout. Police say a 24-year-old and 27-year-old who was a convicted felon were involved in one particular shootout early Sunday morning. Police are still looking for the other gunman. Just hours earlier on Saturday night, police responded to Broadway and Halls Ferry where hundreds of young people were gathered and someone started shooting. A 14-year-old was injured. Investigators say there were several street takeovers throughout St. Louis over the weekend. In sports, Robert Thomas scored for the Blues with just 9 seconds left in overtime, leading to their 3-2 win over the Oilers. And, of course, it was Selection Sunday. Mizzou, a 10 seed, facing Miami right here in St. Louis. Love that. SLU is a 9 seed and will face Georgia in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Illinois, a 3 seed, and will take on Penn in the first round. And City SC lost to Los Angeles FC 2-0. 29 degrees now, just before 7:05. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
3 on southbound 55 at Broadway. Watch for that in the right lane. Really windy out there at this hour, but we've got light traffic. So we look good from North County down into Jeffco. And really, 70 looks good from Warrenton all the way into downtown. Light traffic on the bridges downtown, but there is a jam on the Illinois side. Northbound Route 3 at Monsanto Avenue, a slow-moving train. But other than that, we look good. Yeah, throughout the area. This report brought to you by Artistic Decks. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Spring is here. Don't wait until June to fix that old deck. Artistic Decks is offering rollback prices and expert craftsmanship for our 25th year. A-plus BBB rated TimberTech Platinum installers. Artistic Decks, making dreams affordable. Call 314-280-0821 for a free consult.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Well, there's no question we have had a seasonal shift in our weather. It's back to wintertime. Light snow and flurries around today. Very windy. Clouds dominate. The high 28. Wind chills, single numbers. Tonight, clear and very cold, down to 14. Tuesday, sunny and 37. Wednesday, partly sunny. Big time warm up Wednesday afternoon, 65. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All right, 29 degrees now coming up on 7:07. As always, you can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show anytime. Listen to the show from anywhere. All you have to do is download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, so Monday morning, it is cold outside, baby. I just have to tell you that. Kim, I am not a garage parker. Did you know that?
I did know that.
So this morning, I actually had my truck in the garage because of the storms yesterday, and that was a nice change because, baby, you're gonna need the heater when you get in the car. We'll have more on all that for you coming up here, but right now I want to switch gears and talk a little bit about getting rid of the state income tax in the state of Missouri, right? That's been a focus. It was a campaign pledge of the governor. The House has now passed it. It's been sent over to the Senate. But of all things, a dispute has broken out among some people who I consider to be pretty conservative, who feel like this bill is not what it claims to be. And I wanted to kind of get to some of these facts and get to the bottom of some of this, and invited my friend Carl Bearden to join us this morning. Of course, founder and executive director of United for Missouri. Carl, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about you? Other than staying cold.
Yeah, other than trying to stay warm this morning. That was a shocker, for sure. Well, listen, you support this idea, as I do, of getting rid of Missouri's income tax. But, I'm watching this debate unfold, and there are a lot of people out there who are pretty darn conservative, who are convinced that there's something in here that would allow this to keep going for 30 years and allow it to avoid the Hancock Amendment and all of that. And I thought you put some pretty good explanations of this online. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think they're just a misunderstanding of what the bill really does. I mean, it does not bypass Hancock, for example. It provides a way to potentially expand the sales tax base, but does not require it. It doesn't take 30 years to do it unless we have a very poor economy for the next 30 years. And as we know, there's ups and downs in the economy, so some of these reductions will happen faster than others. But overall, I think it's the right thing to do. Some 20 years ago when I was in the House, I sponsored a similar measure. And I believe it's the right thing to do is let people keep more of their money, let them decide under a sales tax or consumption tax how they're going to spend that money and what they pay taxes on. I think it's the right direction.
Yeah, it can be confusing anytime you try to read a piece of legislation to understand, because it obviously it's going to affect things that are already in law, like the offset for the sales tax, which can be confusing to people. Like I'm reading here from my friend Lisa's post on Facebook about this, talking about the fact that page 3, state and local taxes and use taxes by any similar transaction can be expanded by legislation to impose taxes on transactions. There are people claiming that to make up for this, for example, house sales might see a sharp tax increase, and other goods and services that are not currently taxed on the sales side.
So there's nothing in the bill, to be clear, because there's some other information going around that if you vote for this, XYZ will be raised. There's nothing in the bill that raises any taxes on any particular product. It just says there's a process for doing that. And so what would happen is you would pass this bill. There would be a trigger to trigger the reduction in income tax and then to shift that to a sales tax. And the legislature at that point would have to debate and actually pass bills for how they would do that. And so there's nothing that would be taxed specifically by this bill. This will be a part of a discussion when the legislature works on those bills.
I agree that is a misconception, and I'm not even sure I realize that. I guess the concern I hear from a lot of people is that the sales tax will be increasing double digits.
Yeah, I don't see that being the case. And again, it depends on how it is. Right now, Missouri's total sales tax is about 4.225%, and that doesn't include local. This doesn't include, it also has a provision in there, though, that locals, if there is an expansion in the sales tax base, have to reduce how much they charge for. So if you have a local tax of 1%, that would have to be reduced on a broader base. And same thing with the 4.225. So there are offsets that would also cause those reductions. And again, this is all speculation as far as to what would be taxed, what wouldn't be taxed. For example, right now, Missouri does not tax prescription medications or medical devices or certain machineries. It doesn't tax food. It doesn't tax diapers, feminine hygiene products, or incontinence products, for example. None of those things would be expected to change. And those are the things that most people use, particularly at the lower income.
Well, so Carl Bearden is our guest. What do we know from other states? Let's take Florida, for example, I think was one of the states you brought up when you were making your point about this online, is that, they don't have a state income tax, and there are others, their sales tax hasn't doubled like some people are afraid of.
Yeah, so the sales tax in Florida, for example, its base is 7%, which includes local and state taxes. There are some places that have 8.5%, but that's the maximum of it. And people say, well, Florida has taxes. They have tourism, which Missouri also has tourism, by the way, and a pretty good tourism industry. But Florida also has a larger population. There's a $117 billion budget in Florida versus, right now about a $50 billion budget in Missouri. And so Florida does well, and it does not tax home sales. It doesn't attack many of the things that people many of the things that people throw out there. And there's another misinformation that's being passed around, is that somehow Missouri's budget is equal to Illinois' budget. And it's simply not true. Missouri's total budget is around $53 billion, I believe, the latest. And Illinois is about $130 billion. But what people are doing is they're comparing Illinois' general revenue budget or general revenue collections to Missouri's total budget, and that's just a false comparison. So there's, again, a lot of misinformation that I don't think people are doing it intentionally. It's just that they don't understand the whole ins and outs of it.
So since Missouri's not a tourism hotspot like a Florida would be, or even a Tennessee with Nashville and some of these other cities, if we don't increase the sales tax more maybe than we're thinking, how do we make up that lost revenue? I'm in favor of doing this, of phasing out and eliminating the income tax, but that is a question that I have.
So Missouri has a lot more tourism than you think. Branson is a big draw. I mean, Kansas City and St. Louis are as well, and there are several parks in the state that draw tourism. So the income tax will go up because that's the offset to the sales tax will go up because that is an offset to the income tax. And I believe that under those things, if you do expand the base, and that will be a discussion in the legislature over the next 3 years, particularly, that's how you keep sales taxes less than double digits, but you also get adjustments in those local sales taxes to ensure you don't overcollect. So I think there are checks and balances in this bill that help protect people against what you're talking about.
It's a consumption tax, and you can pick and choose what you choose to consume, or how much of it, I guess, based on the price as well. One last thing here, Carl. Somebody made the point about the fact that the legislature didn't need to put this on the ballot. They could have just done this on their own, but instead they're wanting to basically ensconce this in the Constitution. You're in favor of that. Why is that?
Well, because part of the misinformation is that we're going to still have an income tax, and we're going to have a huge sales tax, and there's going to be this tremendous tax increase that occurs if you vote for this bill. And the reason that will not happen is because it is constitutional. The legislature cannot change the Constitution. The people have to change the Constitution. So when they put all of these triggers in there, when they put all these requirements in there that must happen in order for income tax to be reduced and sales tax to be raised, that they cannot change that. If they passed it in statute, a future legislature could change that, and then your worst dreams would come true.
Yeah, I was going to say, you remember the days when the other party had a dominant majority in this state. There's nothing to say that couldn't happen again 20 years from now.
Right. So when I first went to the legislature, we were in the minority, and then we took the majority in. So that's exactly it. So you want the protection of a constitutional amendment so that it's locked in, and the only way that gets changed is if the people change it. Got it.
All right. Carl Bearden, listen, we appreciate your time. And I know you just had knee replacement surgery, and if I'm violated your HIPAA rights, but good luck with your physical therapy today, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Stay safe and warm.
Yeah,
All
you too. We'll talk to you soon. Good to get that explanation from Carl there. Lots of questions about that from lots of folks this morning. All right. We'll get to a quick break. Still ahead, we're going to talk to our friend Dan Buck. He's going to join us at about 7:35. And, of course, next hour, we're going to introduce you to a new crime-fighting tool that they're adding out in St. Charles County. The city of O'Fallon, the O'Fallon Police Department, and several other communities are teaming up to do this. And we got a couple of their folks who are going to come in studio to talk and brag a little bit more about it at about 8:20. We'll be right back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We look good on the roads this morning as far as volume goes. I mean, there is some out there, but mostly it's on the Illinois side right now. At Route 3 at Monsanto, we've got a slow-moving train going back and forth. We now have an accident reported on the Missouri side. It's essentially on the ramp from 64 westbound to northbound 270, or eastbound 64 to northbound 270, right there around Conway Road. An accident, and that is causing a delay in that area. But for the most part, we look good. 70 looks good from Wentzville into downtown. 6440, a pretty good shot. Northbound 55 looking good as well. In fact, it's quiet on the Illinois side in general, except for Route 3. This report brought to you by the fabulous people at the Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then, we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 40 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Boy, our windows took a beating yesterday with all that crazy weather that we had. And that's when you really want to make sure that you have quality windows on your home. Hopefully it wasn't too late. The good news is if you're realizing that, say, the vinyl windows that were on your home some 20 years ago are not working, you're feeling the draft on these cooler mornings, or you even had the condensation inside, those are indicators that something's not working like it should. And all you need to do is either go to windowsbylakeside.com or just call my friends at Lakeside Renovation and Design, because what they'll do is they'll send a team of specialists. They'll do a free consultation. They'll come over to your house and they're going to install Infinity from Marvin windows. These are a game changer because they're not vinyl. They're made with fiberglass. They're 8 times stronger than vinyl, but they're going to be at an affordable price because Lakeside Renovation and Design knows what matters most to homeowners. I would say that they're fair, they have transparent pricing, and they are going to offer you a friendly, dependable team you can trust. The entire team over at Lakeside Renovation and Design, they're all in-house. So they're not outsourcing to some third party. You're going to have to stress about trying to hound to make sure that they're doing the job right and on time. Lakeside takes care of all of that stuff for you. And they offer all kinds of things, different, windows and doors. You get to customize it with the trim color, and one of Lakeside's in-house designers will also help you with that, because that can really improve your curb appeal. You don't think about that with windows or a front door, but I'm telling you, if you look at it before and after, and Lakeside, by the way, posts some of those on its social media sites or on Instagram, Facebook, but they also have that website, windowsbylakeside.com. You can see these before and after pictures, and it makes a huge difference. They're going to offer a lifetime workmanship and product warranty to back up your project. Plus, right now through the end of March, Lakeside's offering 10 months of no interest, no payments. So that means that you wouldn't have to make a payment until next spring of 2027. So get in on the deal now. Again, it's windowsbylakeside.com.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy weight gain or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. You're back with Marc Cox and Kim St. Onge. The Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, welcome back. So the continued discussion there on the taxes, I mean, I think it's a good one to have. At the end of the day, it's not going to be a pain-free process to eliminate the state income tax. The simple answer as a conservative, and it would be my same answer in St. Louis County and my same answer in St. Louis City, is that we all know what the problem is. In St. Louis City, in St. Louis County, in the state of Missouri, we don't have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem. That's what makes this difficult. We bring in plenty of revenue. We just spend too much money. Now, you may argue, well, we have to balance the budget and all this in the state. There are plenty of things we can eliminate. The government has grown way too big over the years. It's always safe to remember. Hold on. Is my audio up over here, Drew? Sorry about that.
It's never too early to learn that the government is a greedy piglet that suckles on a taxpayer's teat until they have sore, chapped nipples.
We definitely do have a spending problem. Most states have a big spending problem.
Sure.
The challenge is we know that that's not an easy fix. Will it ever be fixed? I have no idea. Probably not, because if history tells us anything, then it won't be. So then we do have to somehow make up that revenue.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And but I'm not going to give up.
No.
I refuse to give up. Smaller government is always better government. And we, like the Medicaid expansion that they did for Obamacare years ago, they should never have agreed to that. But it was put to a vote and it was agreed to, and now the state's on the hook for it as soon as healthcare spending gets cut back in Washington, D.C. This is just another example of big government. It never gets smaller. That's the point of that soundbite. No government program has ever gotten smaller. It grows in incrementally every year. They don't do baseline budgeting. They just do whatever you got last year, add 5% to it, and that's what you expect for the next year. So it gets bigger every year. It never goes in the opposite direction until you get somebody who's willing to make the cuts. There's always going to be a challenge paying for government. So if you're taking the 1% earnings tax out in the city, that's been around for so long. That bad idea has been around for so long. It's now 1/3 of the city's budget. They're in panic mode at the thought of that not being there. So now the logic is, well, we have to vote to renew the 1% earnings tax because if we don't, the city will lose 1/3 of its income. Well, it never should have been a source of income to begin with, and now you've become dependent on it. You're addicted to it, and you need more of it. And that's basically how government is just one big addict, and it keeps having to feed itself out of your wallet. And I would argue that we do need to get rid of the state income tax. We do need to get rid of the personal property tax. And I know my friends in the fire districts and all that are don't like me saying that. We're going to have to figure out another way to fund those things.
How do we do that? Because I certainly want the funding for the police departments and for the fire departments, but I also support eliminating the state income tax. It's a tricky situation. I don't want to see sales tax go up too much. However, Carl, who we had on, just a little bit ago, he made the good point of, well, at least if we have it on a sales tax situation, we can then choose where we're spending our money. And people were commenting on Facebook because the concern has been, well, you're going to tax services like an auto shop or something where it's not a want, it's a need. At some point, I have to go get my car serviced. But Carl was making it seem like a lot of that's just speculation, and there's really no truth behind that.
Well, there's nothing in the bill about it. I mean, it's something a future legislature could change, I would imagine, which is why he thinks it's important that this would go to a vote. Like this change would go to a vote in the fall, and that's why it's a joint resolution that would go to the Senate, and if they pass it, it'll go on the ballot. And people will have to vote to eliminate the income tax in Missouri. So having that in the Constitution means future legislators can't dabble with it, so to speak, as easily. So that's why he's in support of them doing that. They certainly don't need to do that. They don't need to put it in the Constitution, but clearly they understand the nature of government. Whoever wrote that understands that government is a greedy piglet, and it's always going to come back to get more money.
Well, and people were commenting on the text line, saying, why is it that we register to vote, but we're not allowed to vote on any bills? We're only allowed to vote in elections. Why is it someone else put, same person. Why is it the responsibility of the taxpayers? You're already paying taxes, responsible for the overspending of state and federal governments. Well, that just goes to show that it's so important who you're electing, because they're representing you, and you should be looking at their history of voting, because if they're not supporting, cutting spending, then you probably shouldn't be electing them into that position if they're up for re-election. They're just going to continue doing it.
Far too often, you don't vote for somebody on how they're going to save your money. You vote for them on how they're going to spend your money.
It's true.
Think about that. That's how most of them campaign, is not on how they're going to save you money. It's how they're going to spend your money, because that's what people vote for. They vote for their pocketbook. They vote their wallet. And if they think you're going to give them something, some government benefit or freebie they don't currently have, none of it's free. That's too often how those voting decisions are made. All right, coming up, Daniel Buck is going to join us. The Buck stops here. We'll talk a little bit more about some of those big baseball victories over the weekend, and not the Major League Baseball. We'll get to Dan when we come back.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today, and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Conservative outsider Jeannie Evans for U.S. Senate. Evans is a proven fighter and the only candidate for U.S. Senate with guts and know-how to get the job done. As an attorney, she took on China and corporate criminals. Jeannie Evans won billions for working families. As senator, Evans will fight and win for you. She'll work to cut taxes and lower the cost of living. Evans believes that keeping Illinois safe will take more than just wishful thinking. It takes courage, and Jeannie Evans has the record to prove it. Evans will always be tough on crime. She'll hold China accountable for trafficking fentanyl and stealing our personal data. Jeannie Evans puts America first. A proven fighter, conservative outsider Jeannie Evans for U.S. Senate.
I'm Jeannie Evans, Republican candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jeannie for Illinois.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. Coming up on 7:31, 29 degrees. A Belleville shopping plaza became the scene of a deadly shooting over the weekend. Police say a 20-year-old man died after getting shot Sunday afternoon around 4 o'clock in the 5500 block of Belleville Crossing. As of this hour, 2 people are in custody. A dog attack has landed a woman and a child in the hospital. Granite City Police responded to the 2100 block of Monroe Street around 1:30 Saturday morning, where the 2 dogs were attacking the woman and child. Investigators say those dogs were aggressive and made helping them unsafe, so they ended up killing the dogs. In sports, Blues beat the Oilers in overtime 3-2. It was, of course, Selection Sunday. Mizzou, a 10 seed, will face Miami right here in St. Louis. SLU's a 9 seed and will play Georgia in the first round. Illinois, a 3 seed, and will take on Penn in the first round. And City SC lost to Los Angeles FC 2-0. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got a report of an accident northbound 270, kind of in that construction zone, just north of 64, and that is jamming up traffic a little bit in that area, especially on the ramps from 64. But we've got light volume in general today, quiet through North County. Eastbound 70 looks great out west into downtown. We've got some volume on the Illinois side, but it looks like the train got out of the way. Route 3 at Monsanto Avenue. And that's left us with generally light volume even on northbound 55. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Want a new home in Cottleville? Check out Cottleville Trails by McKelvey Homes. Take a golf cart or walk to downtown Cottleville. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today to learn more about the incredible homes in Cottleville Trails and move up to McKelvey.
Hey, Zero Res has got a great deal for you to get you ready for spring and to get those carpets clean. You know, your carpet in your house is like an air filter. And if your carpet is not clean, you're continuing to filter dirt and grime and all that stuff that has been tracked in to your home. Here's your opportunity for the month of March. Buy one, get one room of carpet clean for free. You heard that correctly. There's also not a limit on it. It's unlimited. So regardless of the size of your house, you're getting a great deal. You buy one, you get one clean for free. They're also going to give you upgrades if you do the whole home air duct cleaning package. So beat the spring cleaning rush. Get this scheduled now with my friends at Zero Res. The great thing about them, it's zero residue. No harsh chemicals, none of that they get left behind. That's safe for your family, your kids, your pets. And then you've got a sparkling clean home, and they can zero resify just about anything. 314-474-2020. That's 314-474-2020. Or go online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com and tell them you want the 97.1 special. Spell it backward or forward. It spells the same, Zero Res.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
42% of Missouri fourth graders can barely read. 42%. It's the worst result in 20 years. If kids can't read by third grade, they fall behind in school, and many never catch up. But other states have provided a roadmap for success. Missouri needs one universal reading test for all third graders and one clear statewide standard for what it means to pass that test. A struggling reader who still can't read after extra help and a second chance at the test should repeat third grade with some exemptions. We also need to end the outdated 3Qing method, which encourages guessing instead of reading, and require teachers to be trained in the science of reading. In Mississippi and Indiana, test scores jumped up dramatically after these reforms, and Missouri can do the same. Missouri children deserve to become confident, capable readers, and strong early literacy reforms can make it happen. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by the Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
You know, all that rain we got this week, man, alive. It was pouring in my house yesterday. We got a little low spot in the yard. You can see the water standing out there. Now, fortunately, I have a dry basement. If you don't, you were sweating it yesterday, sweating bullets, wondering how much rain you'd get. It's all going to soak into that clay, and the soil in this region causes water to put pressure around the outside of your basement. It's like a water trying to get into a dry swimming pool. It's how my friend Matt Hayes described it one time. So if you have a leaky basement, you need to get it fixed. It's not going to get better on its own. It doesn't just magically stop one day. You need to get it fixed. Maybe it's a matter of waterproofing just a single crack in the basement. Maybe it's more involved than that, but you're not going to know until you invite my friend Matt over to take a look at it. The good thing about that is he's honest. He's a family guy. I know his family. I've known him for a couple of years. Our kids go to school together. He's going to be honest with you about what the problem is and not sell you a package. Apparently, some of these big firms now want to sell you a waterproofing package for things you don't really need. Matt's not going to do that. 314-271-9900 or go online anytime. Check out the videos of what they do right online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
From Ellisville to Glen Carbon, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We all know you spent 2 years at the Air Force Academy. How important was it for you, Paul, to represent all the servicemen and women around the world tonight?
Yeah, they're watching. This is a source of pride for us on the field, but we got a country behind us, and that's heavy. So it's not something that any of us take lightly, and it's just a huge blessing to be able to do it.
All right, our friend Dan Buck joining us with the Buck Stops here. We're skipping your intro this morning, Dan. Sorry about that. How are you?
No, that's a great intro. Paul Skeens, I'd rather have him doing the intro for this segment, man. What a patriot. I mean, not only did he go out there and shove it last night for 6 innings, but he absolutely is a guy who loves this country, a former Air Force cadet, and he was talking about some of his former classmates who are in theater right now, who are flying jets and working on aircraft carriers, and they're dear friends of his. And for him to represent America last night, he just talked about how humble and deep it was. He called it heavy. I'm sure it's heavy on his heart while he was out there battling the Dominican. But yeah, it was awesome.
They defeated the Dominican 2-1. I saw, and so they're in the title game now. Is that correct?
They are, and I don't know about you guys, but I had like a roller coaster of emotions and feelings as I watched that game last night. First I was taken back that in Miami, almost half the stands were filled with people cheering loudly for the DR. Flags and jerseys and hats and chants all abounded. USA had a great vocal crowd too. They were waving the red, white, and blue proudly. But early on, it was certainly a partisan Dominican crowd in America, and it was weird seeing our beloved Albert Pujols there, too. He was wearing a foreign jersey as the manager of the DR, and I thought, of all of his fame, all of his fortune, it came about because of where he came, not because of where he came from, but because of where he landed, right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
But then it dawned on me. It was like a fifth inning epiphany. The Dominican Republic, the second largest country in the Caribbean, is actively, openly celebrating the greatest game ever invented, right? A game created and developed into an multi-billion-dollar industry in the U.S., the DR adopted our game over 100 years ago as their favorite national pastime. While most islands and nations around them, they chose that third world sport of soccer, right? The DR, though, saw the value. They saw the athleticism of using your hands, your arms, your intellect versus chasing a checkered ball around with your feet. They quickly became a breeding ground of legendary big leaguers, including names that shined here in St. Louis, names like Perez and Guerrero and Alou and, of course, Pujols. Other greats from the DR included Juan Marichal, Pedro Martinez. You had Big Papi last night, David Ortiz on the broadcast. But you get the point, right? And all 895 ball players from the Dominican have played in the major leagues. Now, last night, I just thought it was a celebration of American ingenuity, a party that celebrated not only the great American pastime, but understanding that this is now an international game. You know, Japan, Taiwan, Australia. Hell, even the Italians are figuring out how fun it is to use your hands when playing a sport. I also think there's a great case that baseball is a celebration of American conservative values. Now, let me explain that. First of all, DEI will never fly in baseball. Never. You know why? Because the only race that matters in baseball is between home and first. Every lineup card is merit-based. There aren't extra minutes randomly added to the end of a game because of delays or fake injuries. We have a defined 27 outs. And unless there's extra innings necessary, well, that would be necessary because guess what? We don't tie in America. A victor is always determined. Right? There's no offsides. Defenses can shift. Pitchers can throw whatever they want. But if you hit it far enough, nobody can get you out. We love home runs because it's a classic battle where one man beats another man, and there's nothing 8 other dudes on the field can do about it. There's no whining, no excuses. It's just life. It's just America.
Are you saying there's no crying in baseball? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Hey, the final 4 innings, I sat back. I enjoyed all the stardom, the patriotic pride of both sides. But I knew in the end that no matter what the final scoreboard said, the winner was America. Mm-hmm. The place where all these great players are going to be where? This summer they're going to be here, playing in the U.S. for U.S. fans, making millions of dollars and living the American dream. They all, whether they like it or not, are going to be celebrating the United States of America. Right? They're going to be standing every game, 162 times this year. Every one of those Dominican players, they're going to be standing for our national anthem in ballparks all across the United States.
You know what's...
They're going to play they're going to play under our flag in our cities, and let's just hope they're grateful to be playing the greatest game in the greatest nation on earth.
You know what's kind of sad, Dan, is any sort of patriotism from a player or a team as a whole, it seems like these days goes viral because there's so many players like a Megan Rapinoe. I guess she's not even playing anymore, but who just hate America. So the bar is so low because of people like her that anytime someone is proud to represent the country or even proud to play here in the United States, they're from a different country, it goes viral because it makes us so happy realizing it reminds us there are still people who are very proud to be here or proud to be playing here in the United States.
Well, not just proud. I think they should, and many of them do recognize that there are no $1 million contracts in the DR or Puerto Rico or Mexico, right? Those are the minor leagues. I mean, the USA is the show, baby, right? Everybody wants to come here, and that's what our immigration should be. We should be recruiting the best people, the most talented, the most gifted people in the world to come here and play. Not their worst, not the people we let out of jail, not the drug cartels. Baseball is like a kind of a microcosm of how it should work for our immigration. If you want to come here, bring your best, right? Show that hard work and the dedication to a better life is what you seek, and you seek it in America. And in baseball, that's exactly what they do. They're playing our game, right? We invented it. It's where all the $1 million contracts are, and they work their butts off down there in Puerto Rico and the Dominican for what? The opportunity to come here and assimilate, play our game, be grateful. And I do think many of those players are extremely grateful to this country. And you see them, baseball and hockey, I would say, are the two best sports for still showing, dignity towards our flag, standing for the national anthem. It's part of the ritual. They don't make it optional to stand for the national anthem. They're all up on the top step, their hands on their hearts. And, I just think it's awesome that the World Baseball Classic is showing that this great American game is now a global game. And all those players, the best from Japan, the best from Italy, all come here to play the game.
So cool. Who's in the final then? I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that, Dan.
No. Tonight's the other semifinal. You've got Italy, which again a shocker. Everybody thinks of them as a great soccer power, but their baseball team beat the U.S. actually on Friday and gave us a little hard stop because we almost didn't make it into the semis. We needed some help from Italy to beat Mexico. But they'll be taking on Venezuela, and the winner of that game will play Tuesday night for the championship of the World Baseball Classic.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you, my friend. Great point there,
go
as
America.
usual.
Go America.
Red, white, and blue, USA.
Amen.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Talk to you guys.
We'll talk, Dan. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Dan loves his baseball. Some people on here don't. You see this nonsense? Baseball is just boring. Soccer is boring.
Baseball
I'm sorry.
Can be boring.
It can be.
It
can be. If there's
Soccer is worse because they can tie. They can tie 0-0, and that's
After
fine.
90
And some
minutes.
team still gets points. They
I
can
know.
still help a team. If you don't score a single goal, you can still get points. I could go on and on about it. That should be a Kim on a Whim because I have strong feelings about it.
You can't tie in basketball either. We'll be talking to our friend Tom Ackerman about that coming up at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. He's going to join us from Florida, where he's down there covering the Cardinals spring training, and I'm sure he's got a thing or two to say about what's going to happen at Enterprise on Friday and Sunday this week, and Mizzou's chances of winning and advancing in the NCAA tournament. We'll get to all that and more for you. But coming up, we're going to get to Kim on a Whim. What are we talking about? Whoops.
The Oscars were just last night, but you rattled off a couple of the movies, and I had not even heard of them. I mean, how many of you have gone to the theater in the last year? Ask yourself that question. When's the last time you actually went and saw a movie at a movie theater? Because I would argue that movie theaters are about to be a thing of the past because there's some new information out that'll tell you what, it's a pretty grim outlook on the future of movie theaters.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Had a really nice commute today. A lot of people taking the day off, and we look good on the roads. Now, there is some volume out there. It's moderate. Along northbound 270, we had an earlier accident just north of 64, and some moderate volume there. But that's it. Eastbound 70 looks great from Warrenton into downtown. 64 is a good run. 55 looks good through multiple construction zones. And it's quiet on the Illinois side on all of the bridges downtown. We're in good shape. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit throttlenet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
All right, Victor Men's Health has made a huge impact on my life. It's why I recommend them to you. If you hear me talking about something on here, I'm a client. And Victor Men's Health has been fantastic. I mean, 7-8 years now. I mean, honestly, to go there and have them make that big of a difference in your life when it comes to your energy and your outlook and, they just take a blood test. It's that simple. They have medical doctors with 30-plus years of experience in men's health. This is not a general practitioner who sees everybody. They deal with men's health issues. As you age, your testosterone drops. If it drops too much, you're too tired to get out off the couch and go do the things you used to love to do. So go see them and let them find out where things stand in your life. Maybe you don't eat right. A lot of us don't. You might have vitamin deficiencies that are causing some of these issues as too. They put me on magnesium recently. So you go and you find out from the blood panel, and you're going to you take my word for it, it's going to make you feel like you again. So go check them out. They can help you with hormone optimization, weight loss, vitamin deficiencies, sexual health issues, all of it in one spot at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois, O'Fallon, Missouri, Town and Country, in Sunset Hills. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. Check them out online. Make your appointment today at victorymenshealth.com.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Kim on a Whim.
Kim on a Whim is proudly brought to you by Missouri Brush Control. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com.
I don't know about you, but I can't remember the last time I went and saw a movie at the movie theater. I was talking to my husband about this. He's like, yeah, I don't think we saw a single movie in the theater last year.
I remember the movie. I saw a couple movies last year. I think I saw the new Lion King movie because my grandson wanted to go see it. And I saw The Housemaid with Sydney Sweeney in it.
What was the movie you went to? Or maybe this was one you rented or something at home from one of the streaming services that you turned off?
Oh, the One Battle After Another, the one that won all the Oscars last night.
Oh, that was what
Awful.
it was. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
Well,
we were watching it. We were it's when we were in Montana. We rented it and we were watching it, and we didn't finish it. We're an hour
That
and
bad.
45 minutes into it. I'm like, this is awful. When's it going to end? And we just turned it off. I mean, and it won all of these awards last night, including Sean Penn for Best Supporting Actor. Stupid. Who are these people? I don't know. I don't know who they are.
What's the average price for a movie ticket these days? What, $13 to $15?
Probably.
Then you're spending money likely on popcorn or candy or soda or something like that. So it ends up being a pretty expensive night. Now, arguably, it can be a fun date night, or I know people who will want to take their kids or their grandkids, or I know someone was commenting on Facebook about how that's one of the only things, Amy was saying, one of the only things that they can do with her elderly mother, which makes complete sense. So in that case, it's a great thing to do.
It's still fun to go, but the offerings are so scarce these days.
It's not, to me, it's the cost. And I like knowing that I can pause it and go take care of something or use the bathroom and not miss a certain part. Listen to this. It says the North American box office grossed $9 billion last year, which is far below pre-pandemic numbers when it was about $11 billion. So they're about $2 billion down. One survey found only half of Americans said that they saw a movie in the theaters last year. This is CBS News reporting this.
Okay.
And they're blaming it in part on Hollywood production being down about 16%. I think it's because there are so many streaming services, and I just wait for the movie to come out that way.
It's true. I mean, there's something to be said for the experience. I think when you go to those, I'll just call one out here by name, the Marcus Theaters, where they have the reclining seats and all that. They're selling the experience of going to the movies. Now, you can get the experience of overpaying for a box of popcorn and way too much for sodas. That's kind of but it is kind of nice to be sitting in there in the big comfortable. You could do that at home, but sometimes you need to get out and, as my dad used to say, let the stink blow off of you and go do something. And a movie theater provides that outlet, right?
I agree. I just wonder. I mean, think about, okay, so the last time you went to a movie, how many people would you say were in the theater?
I haven't seen a full movie theater in ages.
Every time I go, it's borderline creepy because there's maybe 10 people in the entire theater.
How
Seriously.
long can they sustain that?
How long can they sustain that?
I don't know.
And obviously they're getting paid by the movies because, right, they're showing the movie, but then they have to, I don't really fully understand how it works. Like if they're paying to be able to show the movie, but if the production company is also paying them to show it, again, don't understand all of the way that works. I just know that movie theaters are never full, and clearly I'm not the only one who's not going to the movies. And that's why when you have shows like the Oscars, first of all, people aren't interested in watching them because no one's heard, half the people have not even heard of the movies that are up for nomination. And then you have the actors and actresses deciding that it should be some sort of a political thing, and they all feel the need to make some sort of a stupid comment. So there's a double whammy right there of why I don't care about award shows.
There you go. Well, number one, Sydney Sweeney should make more movies. And she's way underrated as an actress, I think.
Well, she's a good actress. I've seen.
I thought she did a great job in The Housemaid. That they really blasted her for it, but the critics hate her because she's pretty. I think that's a big reason they hate her.
Well,
they don't like her.
The Jean thing is really what started
still,
a lot of
stupid.
people on the I
That
Hate
was
Sydney
stupid.
Sweeney
That was
train,
stupid.
which is stupid. That's not her fault.
And maybe Drew will appreciate this. They're about to come out with a prequel to Rambo, and I can't wait for that one. That's going to be fantastic.
Oh, me too. Not.
Says Kim, who's never seen Rambo. You do. You've heard of it, haven't you?
What's it about?
Sylvester Stallone, Rambo.
Okay.
Vietnam veteran who comes back from the war, and they pick on him in a small town, and he tears it apart, and then they recruit him and send him back to the jungle to rescue some POWs. And this is one of Sylvester Stallone's breakout roles after Rocky. Come on, you don't know about this? Come on. Okay.
Did I see Arnold Schwarzenegger video of him working out?
He apparently-
and he's reprising his role in some movie or something like that?
What is it? Not Terminator. One of the Alien movies that he did. Apparently, they're going to make another one. So,
well, the whole "I'll be back" really takes on a new meaning. Yeah. He will be back.
I wonder if they're doing any of that age reduction stuff they've done before with AI, where it make him look younger and bigger and stronger.
Well, could we have that for the radio?
I wish.
A filter, maybe?
Get me some of that for this social media stuff we got to put up with every morning. All right, coming up, we'll talk more about a new law enforcement tool they're using out in St. Charles County. That really, it'll blow your mind what they're able to do these days. And we'll get to Tom Ackerman with more on Mizzou and the NCAA tournament.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property with selective land clearing. Whether it's for a building site, pasture reclamation, hunting, or trail creation, Missouri Brush Control can transform your unusable acreage into accessible and productive property. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. 5-star rated on Google reviews. See impressive before and after projects today at MissouriBrushControl.com. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Tell them Bo Matthews sent you to MissouriBrushControl.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Tax season is here, and Missouri families are already seeing the real impact of the Working Families Tax Cut Act. House Republicans are delivering real results for hardworking Missourians. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, the bill is projected to raise wages in Missouri by about $3,000 to $6,000 over the next 4 years. That's more money for groceries, gas, and greater security for your family's future. In Congress, I'm working to protect working families, strengthen our economy, and ensure you are keeping more of your hard-earned money.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
It's day 17 of the epic fury targeting Iran. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
The United States military continues to totally decimate the rogue Iranian terrorist regime. We've now hit more than 7,000 targets. We've sunk more than 100 of their naval vessels.
And White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt also just told Fox, as Iran keeps targeting Gulf neighbors with drones and blocking oil shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, President Trump is urging other countries to help get the oil moving again with the coalition force in the Strait, and prices are coming down today.
To encourage them to step up to do more to open the Strait of Hormuz, and our NATO allies especially need to step up.
But some of our allies are not interested. A German spokesman just said this is not NATO's war. The UK's leader is also wary.
Keir Starmer says opening up the Strait of Hormuz won't be straightforward. British Prime Minister Starmer won't commit.
That is not a simple task. So we're working with all of our allies to bring together a viable collective plan.
Germany and Greece also now say they have no plans to send warships to the Strait of Hormuz.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. A powerful winter storm shutting down parts of the Midwest. It's a blizzard in parts of Iowa up to Michigan, where Fox Weather's Robert Ray is in the middle of it.
We have blowing snow, 50-mile-an-hour plus winds, and we already have almost 2 feet here in Marquette. In other areas, more than that. We could get up to 4 feet of snow by the time this is all over.
That weather and very windy, rainy conditions on the East Coast have another 2,200 flights canceled today, more than 3,000 delayed. At the Academy Awards, one Oscar after another for the night's biggest winner on ABC, including Best Picture.
The Oscar goes to One Battle After Another.
That movie won 6 Academy Awards. Sinners won 4 Oscars, including Best Actor for Michael B. Jordan. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah. Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Good morning, I'm Kim St-Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. It is now 8:03 and a bit of a shock to the system. If you were outside yesterday and it was close to 70 degrees, we're sitting at 29 degrees now. Well, the good news is power is coming back on for thousands of people on the Missouri and Illinois side who had theirs knocked out during Sunday's storms. As of this morning, I was checking the Ameren map, shows there are still dozens without it, but again, not thousands. Now, there have been some reports of minor damage across the metro, talking about things like power lines and trees snapped. Thankfully, no reports of any injuries. As that severe weather was rolling in, the Lincoln County Emergency Management Agency says some of the warning sirens did not go off. 911 dispatch in the area says sirens in Troy, Moscow Mills, and Winfield never went off. However, they did go off in Hawk Point and Ellsbury. EMA says those sirens are owned by each jurisdiction, so it's up to them to repair them. A violent weekend in St. Louis as some drivers were caught in the middle of a shootout. Police say a 24-year-old and 27-year-old, who was, by the way, a convicted felon, were involved in that shootout early Sunday morning. Police are still looking for the other gunman. Now, just a few hours earlier, Saturday night, police responded to Broadway and Halls Ferry, where hundreds of young people were supposedly gathered, and someone started shooting. In that case, a 14-year-old was injured. Investigators say there were several street takeovers throughout St. Louis over the weekend. In sports, Robert Thomas scored for the Blues with just 9 seconds left in overtime, leading to their 3-2 win over the Oilers. It was Selection Sunday. Mizzou, a 10 seed, facing Miami right here in St. Louis. SLU, a 9 seed, playing Georgia in the first round. Illinois, a 3 seed, taking on Penn in the first round. And City SC lost to Los Angeles FC. Final score, 2-0. 29 degrees now, just before 8:05. I'm Kim Sainange for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Wow, we've got light traffic out there this morning, which is good because it's weird weather. Mostly it's just windy. Now, we do have an accident reported eastbound 70 east of 370, but there's only a little bit of moderate volume through that area. We've got such light traffic. 64 eastbound looking good. From out west into downtown, 44 is in good shape. 55 is quiet, and we look good. If you are headed in from Illinois, now's the time. We look great on the bridges downtown. This report brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they've been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes inside and out. Now, this is windows, siding, kitchens, baths, outdoor spaces, and they give you quality craftsmanship backed by lifetime warranties. Visit lakesiderd.com to start your dream project today. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Well, there's no question we have had a seasonal shift in our weather. It's back to wintertime. Light snow and flurries around today. Very windy. Clouds dominate. The high 28. Wind chills, single numbers. Tonight, clear and very cold, down to 14. Tuesday, sunny and 37. Wednesday, partly sunny. Big time warm up Wednesday afternoon, 65. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
29 degrees now downtown at the Arch at 8:06. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show anywhere or anytime. All you have to do is download our free Odyssey app. You can also watch the show live every single morning from 5 until 9 all over social media. We're on Facebook, X, YouTube, Rumble with our Window World webcam. Window World, simply the best for less.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. Happy you're with us on this Monday morning, 16th day of the month. A little chilly out there. I'm probably not telling you anything if you're in your car already, but if you haven't left the house, wow, you need to bundle up this morning for sure. That storm that moved through left some damage behind, and it dropped the temperature about 35 degrees or so when I got out of bed this morning. I think we're in for it for a couple of days. So regardless of that. Hey, by the way, we sometimes forget to remind you, you can always download the podcast. We podcast 4 hours of this program every day. And if you miss anything, you can go back and pick it up wherever you get your favorite podcast. We had a fantastic interview at the top of the last hour with Carl Bearden, of course, with United for Missouri. But Kim and I had questions about this reduction in the state income tax, right? The House has passed a bill that would eliminate it over a period of time, and there some conservatives have been raising some questions about, are there limitations on them not raising too much sales tax to make up for it, and could both things still exist at the same time? And I thought Carl did a really good job explaining what's in the bill and what's, more importantly, what's not in the bill, and the fact that it's a resolution actually that would go to a vote of the people. And I think that's important because you're going to get people who are who maybe misinterpreted. I don't know about you, but if you've ever picked up one of these House resolutions or bills like the one I have in front of me here, if you're watching on the socials this morning, and tried to read it, it can be a little complicated. So it's a good thing to know what's in it and what's not.
Yeah, and there's so many rumors that are swirling around on social media, and it's very convoluted when you're actually reading the text of it. So it's nice to have someone who has read it and understands it and can then explain what this means for me and for you.
Yeah, well, it's up there at about 7:08 on the podcast if you want to go back and pick it up. Now, the nice thing about it is if you're on the Odyssey app, you can just hit rewind, and you can rewind the show and listen to it. But if not, Kim does a really good job putting in the exactly what we talked about in each segment, so you can pick the ones you want to listen to, and that'd be great. So that was then, and of course, coming up, we're going to talk to Tom Ackerman at the bottom of the hour. The big news yesterday, really whether you're a sports fan or not, but is the fact that SLU and Mizzou both made it into the NCAA tournament. That's a big deal. Robbie Avila will be able to show off his skills against Georgia, which is going to be probably a pretty good game for them. And then they're going to have to play in Buffalo. Mizzou, meantime, gets to play right down the street here at Enterprise Center, which is going to be fantastic.
I love that.
Oh,
it's
my
just
gosh.
what a perfect setup. It's going to feel like a home game for them, so that should give them some sort of an advantage because, quite frankly, even as a Mizzou fan, I don't tend to get my hopes up. They just seem to let me down. I get all excited and I'm amped up, and then it just kind of falls apart. I'm going to choose hope going into Friday night. Tigers, you can do this.
We'll ask Ackerman about this, but I don't remember the last time that happened. That Mizzou got into the NCAA tournament and basically got to play a home game. That's basically what this is, right? It's you joke about it. Usually they let the number one seeds in each region play close to home or in the region that is near their university. It's not always the 7, 8, 9 seeds that get to do that. So good for them. We're excited about it. Hey, by the way, if you've been wondering about this continued government shutdown, I'll call it that because they've shut down a portion of the government anyway. You may be wondering how it's affecting people across the country. And Kim, I told you this earlier. You won't believe what my son has gone through the last 2 days trying to get home. He's still not home.
But that wasn't because of just the partial shutdown, right? With
partial
TSA
slowdown.
Okay.
And then weather on top of it. It was kind of a 1-2 punch. So Brad ended up in Aspen. I know Crimea River, right? He went out there for one of his buddy's bachelor parties, and they skied and they did all that, and he was supposed to fly back Saturday night. That was his plan. And his flight got canceled. He got moved to Sunday. And then all the flights got canceled. And he got moved to today when he was supposed to fly out. They couldn't get a single flight out of Aspen, Colorado. They had to get in a car and drive. They had to pay somebody to drive them to Denver, which is like a 6-hour drive in fairly bad road conditions, apparently. And now if he's lucky at 1:45 today, if they don't cancel the flight, he'll get out of Denver. But the TSA was the original reason that the flights were being canceled, and then that storm moved in, and it was too windy to fly, apparently, at first.
If it's weather-related, the airline won't cover the cost
Correct.
for, say, a hotel room because that's, they would say, out of their control. If it's TSA-related, is that the same thing? They're saying, hey, this is something with Congress? This
out
is
of our control? My guess is maybe that's a good question. We need to ask somebody that. I don't know the answer to it.
You know, but everyone keeps talking about how Trump over the weekend was telling the TSA agents to go back to work. And, of course, everyone's saying, oh, you're telling them to go back to work and they're not getting a paycheck. Well, let me just say, I do really feel for these TSA agents because if you're the primary breadwinner, man, and you're expected to go work, but you have to support your family, maybe your wife, you have kids, she's the stay-at-home mom, you have zero income. Yes, you receive back pay, but Congress better get its butt together, its act together, and get their butts back in their seats and figure this out. I'm so tired of this, I feel for all these people who are impacted.
That is well said. They do need to, and they need to quit trying to blame other people for it, right?
You need to get your head out of your butt, focus on the real issues.
That's true. That's what you need to do. I think Kim called it there. Hey, right now we got Drew in this morning for Ethan, who's got a few days off. Let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
The other day, I found out that the CIA is preparing some kind of criminal referral against me, a crime report.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson talking about this story. We don't know what it's going to look like exactly yet. operating as a foreign agent. I've seen all kinds of stuff on social media about it. I'll let you hear a little more from Tucker coming up, but they're suggesting that he was in contact with somebody in Iran, and I guess they're suggesting that whatever he did went beyond his scope as a journalist. No charges in this case yet, but Tucker is already talking about it, so we'll see.
I think that the president's move here is the single bravest foreign policy move of my lifetime. I think it can be the single most transformational foreign policy move since the fall of the Soviet Union.
I think he's right. That's Ben Shapiro talking. He's made a lot of enemies, hasn't he? Even on the right. Megyn Kelly, Tucker, they all hate Ben Shapiro now because he agrees with this attempt to take out Iran, to take out one of the top sponsors of state terrorism that the world has ever known.
Well, I think they'll back him for a little while, but they're not going to back him forever.
Newt Gingrich on the Iran war, making that point last night that, he's the president. He thinks the president understands this, but the number one goal right now has got to be to reopen the strait, and then you can figure out the rest of it.
What are we collecting signatures for? This is the Respect Missouri Voters Petition. This is to help require our ballot language to be clear and accurate when we go to vote.
Yeah, how about that? The Respect Missouri Voters Petition being circulated this weekend at the St. Patrick's Day parade down in Defiance. And I went up and challenged the woman. I'm like, what is this about? Because when I first approached them, they told me it was about clear ballot language. Will you sign this? And I'm like, wait a minute. Everybody wants clear ballot language. What's this really about? So, don't sign those things if you see these people standing around. This is an attempt to prevent anybody ever from trying to reform initiative petitions in this state. That's what they're doing. I think I saw lots of people signing this weekend. I think they had no idea what they were signing.
There are no consequences for people like that who are going around trying to get people to sign these petitions and they're being deceptive, whether they know it or not, especially if they know they're being deceptive. Is there nothing that can be done about that? Because that doesn't seem right, because they do have power when they're walking around with that clipboard.
I think they do. But I think you should just decline to sign in general, and then you won't have to worry about getting scammed. But a lot of people were there for a reason other than that. They were there to party for St. Patrick's Day, and they signed the thing anyway.
Yeah, but if it's something that we would support, we would want to sign it. That's what I mean is...
Ask more questions
questions
before you
solution.
ever sign anything like that. Ask more questions and demand to see the actual resolution or whatever it is that they put together, because they're supposed to carry it. If that's the case. So I ran into that in Defiance. I just wanted to warn people what's going on. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about the newest crime-fighting tool they've got out in St. Charles County. I was at the O'Fallon Police Department last week for Feed Our First Responders, and they were about to unveil this. It's pretty awesome. We're going to tell you about it coming up.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Morning. We have light traffic out there this morning. Couple of issues, but it really hasn't affected traffic itself. Now, eastbound 70, there was an accident east of 370, just some moderate volume in that area. Then there was an accident on eastbound 44, kind of approaching Laclede Station Road. Off on the right side, there's a little bit of a delay there, but then things open up and look fine. And other than that, we really do look good in general, and that's on the Missouri and Illinois sides both. This report brought to you by Artistic Decks. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Spring is here. Don't wait until June to fix that old deck. Artistic Decks is offering rollback prices and expert craftsmanship for our 25th year. A-plus BBB rated Timber Tech Platinum installers. Artistic Decks, making dreams affordable. Call 314-280-0821 for a free consult.
Firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Conservative outsider Jeannie Evans for U.S. Senate. Evans is a proven fighter and the only candidate for U.S. Senate with guts and know-how to get the job done. As an attorney, she took on China and corporate criminals. Jeannie Evans won billions for working families. As senator, Evans will fight and win for you. She'll work to cut taxes and lower the cost of living. Evans believes that keeping Illinois safe will take more than just wishful thinking. It takes courage, and Jeannie Evans has the record to prove it. Evans will always be tough on crime. She'll hold China accountable for trafficking fentanyl and stealing our personal data. Jeannie Evans puts America first. A proven fighter. Conservative outsider Jeannie Evans for U.S. Senate.
I'm Jeannie Evans, Republican candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jeannie for Illinois.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, welcome back. So I stumbled into something pretty interesting last Friday when I had the opportunity to go out, or was it last Thursday, I should say, to deliver some food to our friends in O'Fallon and honor Lieutenant Jeff Cook out there because he was nominated, and we took food out from Grill Master Tony. And they're like, hey, have you seen our real-time information center? I think to be really a cool guy, their nickname is the Rick. And I'm like, no, I haven't seen that. And they took me in and they showed me this. They were about to do the ribbon cutting, and we've got Mike Gunnery in here with us right now, who's the operations manager, and to explain what this is all about. And Mike, the cool thing about this is it involves drones, and you now have sort of a central operating center that's going to cover a number of partners in addition to O'Fallon, correct?
That's correct. Well, we're going to have this center utilized in St. Charles City, Wentzville, St. Peters, Lake St. Louis, Cottleville, and obviously O'Fallon.
Yeah. And he showed me some video of this, Kim. It's really cool. Like up on the roof there of the O'Fallon PD, there's a big box, for lack of a better term, that kind of opens up, and this thing lifts up out of it, and this drone takes off.
Oh, that's cool.
And you're going to have these located all around the area, right?
That's correct. In O'Fallon, we'll have it at 3 locations, and to your point, it sits in what they call a garage, and when we have a call for service or need for it, the garage opens up and it lifts off and flies directly to the point that we've either entered into the computer or the computer's generated from a call for service, and then we can have eyes on a scene within 45 to 60 seconds.
That's pretty cool.
That's the main benefit to having this drone, right? Is that it's able to get there before your officers are there, and then you're able to see, okay, this is a situation. Is that essentially what it will do?
That's correct. Yeah, the goal is to get it there first, hence the name, drone is first responder. That way we can put eyes on it. The officers can see what's going on in their vehicles. The supervisors can see what's going on, and it can dictate their response, whether that be quicker or they can slow down, because when you're running lights and sirens, there's always that inherent risk to the officers plus the public. So if we can get them slowed down because of putting eyes on scene quicker, it's a benefit all the way around.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, maybe a lot of people in the audience here aren't familiar with the Flock system, but this kind of combines both worlds here, right? Because explain what Flock does for people that don't know it.
Right. So Flock is a license plate reader company. Every agency in the county has Flock cameras strategically located, and they are taking those license plates that are in the FBI's system, NCIC, and if they're, it's a stolen vehicle, wanted vehicle, any missing person, anything like that, the system will send us what's called a hit in flock, and we can dispatch officers to that location. With DFR, it also is integrated into that. So the drone would take off and fly to that location, and we would start looking for that vehicle in question.
I've had concern, especially recently, going to some of these bigger events because of what's been happening across the country. And I know security is always tight. Like we have tomorrow, we have St. Patrick's Day parades and other events for that holiday. Can you share what this would be like as it relates to some of those bigger events? Would you be utilizing these drones?
Absolutely, and even before DFR with O'Fallon, we were utilizing our mobile drones for that, for specifically Heritage and Freedom Fest. We would have a drone overhead because, to your point, there is that risk when you get a large crowd, and we want to make sure that our crowds, our citizens, our visitors are as safe as possible.
But this could catch a suspect, right? Because if some, let's say, camera mounted up on some business somehow wasn't able to catch it because of a particular angle, the person ran, you would more or less be able to track that suspect potentially? Is that right?
Absolutely, and it goes beyond just suspects. We've seen lots of use cases just for missing people. Elderly dementia patients, people who have just walked away from a hospital, get that drone overhead while the officer's still going, and you can
follow them. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah. We were joking Thursday about the old days when you had to wait for the helicopter to start up and get to wherever it was going, and I mean there was a 30 or sometimes 45-minute delay getting that there, and now it's like it's immediate. If there's a suspect running from police, they can track them. So what's the battery span? Is that the right term? What's the lifespan on one of your big drones once you get it up in the air?
So a lot of it depends on the weather. You're looking around 35 to 40 minutes. You've got to give it time to get back to the dock. The last thing you want is for the battery to die while it's away from the dock where it can charge. But there are times where you're following somebody that you really need to keep eyes on, and if the battery dies, you just land it and somebody goes and picks it up. There's some agencies out there that'll land it on roofs and let the fire department go have some fun and grab it.
I don't think we mentioned this, Mike. Maybe I missed it, but you guys are partnering with a business, a pretty well-known business in the area because of all of their locations. So eventually you'll have a lot more of these drones available, correct?
That's correct. So we partnered with Quick Trip. They are allowing us the use of 3 of their businesses in O'Fallon. One of them is actually in Lake St. Louis, right on the border. And the goal with them was there's, I believe, 19 in St. Charles County. So the way that we wrote the MOU was it can be expanded to those 19 if the other member agencies wanted to expand it. So great partnership. They've been phenomenal to work with, so we really appreciate them.
Yeah.
Is this fully operational right now, or what's to come?
Not yet. So we're still working some things out. Part of this, obviously, is safety, so we have to get radar units in so that we can see aircraft and other drones.
Sure.
So we're looking late next month when we'll be able to install the first location. One of our locations is the brand new store on North Main Street in O'Fallon. So once that's completed, I believe that opens in May. A little bit of time after that, and then we should have all 3 up and running.
And I know we got about a minute left here, but you've got a bunch of cities involved. But like, let's say there's a bad accident on the interstate. Highway Patrol have access to it if they need to as well?
We can share a link with them,
yeah.
and that's the goal. It's not just for crime fighting.
Right.
It's general public safety. And to your point, an auto accident, if I can tell responders it's eastbound versus westbound, they can get to it quicker. We can get services such as wreckers on scene quicker, get it cleared up, and get the public open and or back up and running.
Very cool. That it really is. And we appreciate you coming down this morning. Mike Nunnery there with the Arctic Operations Manager there for the city of O'Fallon, the O'Fallon Police Department. Can't wait to see this thing once it's fully in effect. That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me out. It is going to be awesome. We're super excited about it.
You bet. Well, thank you, my friend. We appreciate that as well. Coming up, we'll talk to Tom Ackerman. He's down in sunny Florida. He's in a better place this morning where it's a lot warmer than it is here. We'll talk about the Cardinals. We'll talk about SLU and Mizzou making the tournament right after this.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Or issues in the bedroom. Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
All right, let's talk about your retirement for a minute. What are you going to do? I'm going to camp. I'm going to hook the truck up to a camper and just go for a month or two at a time. And whatever you do, you got to be able to afford it. You got to be able to pay for it, once the paycheck stops coming in. What does that mean for you? Do you have a pension? Good for you. Is it a 401k that you've been saving money in? Whatever that happens to be, a combination of things, you need to have structured income in retirement. And my friends at the Retirement Advisory Group help you with that. That's all they do. They don't deal with people who are 20 years old. They deal with people that are in their mid-50s and looking at retirement a few years down the road. Some people already retired. So call them at 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. They'll meet with you for free. They'll take a look at what you've got. They'll tell you what they could do for you, and then you make the decision on what you need. Check them out online. Tell them Mark sent you. It's retirementkey.com.
I'm Dom Savino with Your Money Now. Meta is reportedly planning sweeping layoffs that could affect 20% or more of the company. Reuters says the tech giant has told senior leaders to start making plans on how to pare back. Meta is trying to balance out its expensive AI bets and prepare for what it hopes will be greater efficiency as it deploys AI to assist workers. No date has been set for the cuts. Meta shares are up 3%. As Americans navigate the rising costs of living, even the dollar store is hurting. Dollar Tree is out with a new sales forecast for the year, and it's largely below expectations. The discount chain follows rival Dollar General, which also signaled weaker demand last week as bargain-hunting shoppers get more selective. We're heading to the open on Wall Street, where the market is off to a nice start to the week. The major averages are trading about 1% higher on word the U.S. will soon announce an international coalition to escort ships through the vital Strait of Hormuz. The market is trying to break a 3-week losing streak. That's Your Money Now.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Triton Exteriors. We take care of your home. It's that simple. Triton-STL.com. Home improvement projects can come with a lot of headaches. We save you time by offering packaged services that are easy to understand and based on your needs. We take care of the details so you don't have to. Visit us at Triton-STL.com. That's Triton-STL.com.
Has there ever been a greater example of having to use the air conditioner one day and the furnace the next than this last 48 hours? I mean, seriously. It just seemed like it was 80 the other day, and then this morning it was in the 30s. It's going to be in the teens tomorrow. You need Air Comfort Service. You need that phone number in your phone so that when your furnace and or air conditioner stop working properly, you know who to call. That's, Corey and the folks at Air Comfort Service are there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know Corey jokes that he's standing behind your furnace in the basement. That's not really the case, but they'll be there pretty quickly, and they will get it taken care of. So here's the number you need, 314-513-0091. If that's in your phone under HVAC or heating and air conditioning, you make that call. They're going to be there for you. You can join their preferred partner plan, which gets an automatic check of your system twice a year. I'm a member of that. I think it's fantastic. But whether they put your furnace in or not, they can fix it. So call them at 314-513-0091 or online with aircomfortservice.com.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
If you live in Missouri, have Medicaid, and need a caregiver, this message is important. Care at home is personal. That's why you may not want a stranger in your home to take care of you. You want someone who already knows you and your daily routines. With Freedom Care, you choose a trusted family member, a friend, or a neighbor. They will get paid after every shift to care for you, and it's 100% free to you. More than 70,000 people have already joined the Freedom Care family. Call your local Freedom Care. They'll check your Medicaid eligibility. Don't wait until a stranger shows up at your door. If you have Medicaid and need help at home, this care is available 100% free to you. Call Freedom Care now to see if you qualify. 314-343-1362. 314-343-1362. That's 314-343-1362.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Hey, time for me to talk to you about Rhino Shield and what a great job they've done for me over the years. But it's not just me, like it's other people that write reviews, and you can look at their Google reviews. Lots of 5-star reviews on there, and people who are thrilled with the before and after pictures. You just got to see them. You almost have to go to their website, 87725rhino.com, where you can see what we're talking about. It preserves the architecture of your home, but it protects it with a ceramic coating on the outside. Here's one of the great reviews. Had a great experience from start to finish. Had my 124-year-old home repainted with Rhino Shield, and it looks great. The colors pop. The house looks fresh. From bid to project completion, everyone was professional. That sounds very familiar because that was my experience with Rhino Shield, and it can be yours too. He's sent me, Darren, a lot of pictures the last few days of before and after photos of homes that just look amazing, and it's going to be so obvious to your neighbors too, who are going to say, hey, what happened? And you say, I decided to go with Rhino Shield because you get a 25-year warranty against chipping, cracking, or peeling. It's beautifully durable. Call them today. Tell them Mark sent you. 877-25-RHINO. Get your free evaluation, or go to 87725rhino.com.
Bold takes, real talk, no apologies. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
The great sportsman like Tom Ackerman. Baseball's really not a hard sport.
It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
It's like powered by coffee this morning.
Sports, sponsored by McDonald's, reminding you to round up your total for Ronald McDonald House charities on your next order.
Tom Ackerman, what a year to miss March Madness in St. Louis, my friend. I mean, I know it's beautiful in Florida, but wow, we got some great matchups this weekend.
Yeah, it's great. And you know what else we have in St. Louis? Lots and lots of beer. And
That's
that's
true.
exactly what we're going to need to accommodate Iowa State fans, first of all, who are known to drain restaurants and bars of their beer supply. That probably won't happen in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Then you have, let's see, Purdue fans. As an Indiana alum, I know them very, very well. Great basketball fans. They will come out in droves. We all know that Kentucky, your favorite, is known to gobble up seats. Big Blue Nation will be coming out strong. But I'll tell you what a gift on a silver platter for the University of Missouri. I mean, if you're a Mizzou fan, this is a golden opportunity. I mean, just an incredible gift by the committee to give Missouri, a team that some wondered if how they would get in or where they would be, or would they have to play in Dayton in the first four. They end up playing in St. Louis for not one, but possibly two if they can get by Miami, Florida on Friday night. So if you're a Tiger fan, you got to muscle in there and get a seat and make sure you get to see this tournament, because that just doesn't happen. I mean, it rarely happens that Missouri would be able to play that close to home.
Well, that's what I said earlier. It's very normal for the committee to take the 1 or 2 seeds and put them in some proximity to their school. It's very different for a 7 or an 8 or a 9 seed to get that opportunity. So they really they did them a big favor. You're right about that.
Right, and they're a 10 seed. I mean, they're a
Yeah.
10 going up against the 7 Miami. And if you're an Illinois fan, you're beside yourself right now. You're thinking, how did this happen? We beat Missouri by like 40 and or more, whatever it was, killed them. And then they end up getting to play in St. Louis where we killed them. And we're playing in Greenville, South Carolina against Penn, which they should be able to handle. But the next round, you're playing either North Carolina or VCU, basically in their backyard or close to it on the East Coast. Like, how did that happen? So I mean, SLU kind of got what they got. I mean, they're playing in Buffalo, and that's understandable. I mean, SLU is going to play up there because they let things sort of slip late in the year. They got that heartbreaking loss to Dayton at the last second. So that ends up sticking them in Buffalo, and they'll have to play Georgia and then probably Michigan if they can get by Georgia to fight their way through it. But they're in, and they can celebrate that. Illinois has got to be like, what the heck do we have to do? Now, I mean, they did get bounced out of the Big Ten tournament, but that's a tough draw. But not only that, guys, but Illinois, if they were to get past North Carolina or VCU, guess where they go next? Houston. You know who's playing in Houston? Houston. I mean, like, they're playing in their own city. I mean, it's just, if you're an Illinois fan, you're like, what in the world? They'll just have to,
Be better, right? Yeah, you still there, Tom?
Yeah.
Sorry, we cut out on
Tom,
us. Sorry
did
about
am I remembering correctly that you don't like to fill out a bracket because you like to just enjoy the games and not be so worried about who's winning? Am I correct in that?
That's so interesting, Kim, that you mentioned that. I just started doing that the last couple of years. I filled out a bracket my entire life. I think it was 2 years ago that I started to not fill out a bracket. And it was so enjoyable because I didn't have to get out the red pen and start marking, and saying, oh, my bracket's busted the first couple of days, or, how some people will. There have been some years that I did very well. I mean, I've had some really good years. I won a pool back in 2015. I'll never forget it. Duke won. I was at the game in Indianapolis. They won the title. I watched them storm the court, and I thought, wait a second. I think I just won the whole thing. I think I just won the pool. That was great. I mean, but most of the time, Kim, yeah, like let's say, it's not as enjoyable because you have all these, it's not as fun because all these teams are marked off of your bracket. So I've sort of backed off of that. I don't know. I haven't decided yet if I want to move forward with it or not. I just enjoy the tournament very much, bracket or no bracket, but I'm willing to offer advice to anyone who needs it.
Were you predicting any upsets? I know we're just figuring out, the seeds and where they're playing, but do you have any games that you're watching saying, I think this could be a good upset or a good Cinderella story?
Yeah, I see one right away, and that is VCU against North Carolina. I think that VCU is a tremendous basketball team, and it would have been a crime to leave them out of this tournament. Had they not won the A10 tournament, I heard that they weren't going to make it. I mean, they're really good, Really, really good. I think they can beat North Carolina and give Illinois some trouble in the second round. I don't know. I mean, not anything major. I mean, I think one to watch would be Northern Iowa against St. John's, but it's Rick Pitino. It's St. John's. They just obliterated UConn the other day, and that's tough. Those 5-12s are ones to watch. That was one that kind of had my interest, but I think St. John's will figure out a way to get that done, but that could be a problem for them. I guess another one, if you're looking down at the Midwest region a little bit, oh, watch out for Miami of Ohio. I mean, this team, this little Miami of Ohio team that everybody's kind of patting on the head like they just sort of got a gift that they're in. They're now the hunters. You know, they're going to go out. They were 31-0 and they lost one game in the MAC, and everybody criticized, not everybody, but there was a lot of debate whether they should even belong. If I'm that coach, Travis Steele, I'm giving the speech of my life, and I'm saying nobody believes in you. Everyone thinks you played a soft schedule. You know what you guys did, right? Now let's go out and do that again, and go out and play SMU in the first four, and then see if you can knock out Tennessee, a team that I've seen play inconsistent basketball this year, and see if you can squeak your way into the second round, because you got to win twice now to get into the second round because you're a first four team. So the
Right.
play-in game, then you beat Tennessee, then you figure out if you can beat Virginia or Wright State. But watch out for Miami of Ohio. I mean, they now have that fresh slate. They're really good. It's hard to go 31-0. I don't care if you're playing against a high school team. Sometimes the ball doesn't go in the basket. You know, sometimes guys get sick. Sometimes people get hurt. Sometimes you get in foul trouble. That's a team to watch.
How you doing time-wise here? You all right?
Yeah, I'm great.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to ask, since you're down in Florida, anything new with the Cardinals? You got anybody who's had a standout game this weekend?
I do. I'm Nelson Velasquez is the player to watch. He is an outfielder that was a minor league free agent that they took a chance on, and he's young, and he has a lot of power and major league power. He's actually hit home runs at the big league level. He already has 4 home runs down here. He hit one yesterday, and Ali Marmol really likes him. He has been very vocal, good vibe in the clubhouse type guy, good guy in the dugout type person, but you know what plays when you hit home runs and they go really far. And he has a really good bat. You know, he started in left field yesterday. The guy that needs to watch his back here is Jordan Walker. Walker is not playing right now because they've taken him back into the cages, taken him out of games to work on his swing. That's not a great sign here 10 days before opening day that he's struggling and can't get his swing together. If they can figure it out over the next few days, that's great. But I feel like they've been trying to figure it out with Jordan Walker for a few years now, and Nelson Velasquez is coming in hitting bombs. That could be a problem for Walker, so watch it there. He may get a start over him in right field.
Wow.
Other than that, nothing major. I think Ivan Herrera is their best hitter and should be back here shortly. He's coming off an injury, and I would expect him to be back playing here in a couple of days. My impression of this team. I don't want to get too excited about it, but the pitching is much better than last year. Now it's only spring training, but the pitching is much better than last year. The offense I have major questions about, and we'll see if it can come together. But the starting rotation's legit. The bullpen, you know, I want to see them in high leverage situations, but so far so good. But it is a better rotation. I was reminded of that when I saw Miles Michaelis yesterday giving up 5 runs to the Cardinals here in Jupiter. It's night and day to me, the rotation and what they do. By the way, just one last thing. Last night I went to the USA Dominican game.
Did you really?
In Miami.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm still here in Miami. A buddy of mine invited me to the game. I stayed with him last night because the Cardinals are shut down today. There's nothing going on in Jupiter. So I did everything on KMOX from here, and then I'm going to head back up to Jupiter here in a little bit and get ready for tomorrow's game and practices and all that stuff. But the USA performance was tremendous. It was an incredible atmosphere. I did it again. I went back to the WBC. I couldn't help myself, and it was a great atmosphere.
But it was. Well, yeah, Dan Buck was talking about it this morning about what a great victory that was. So, hey, enjoy yourself,
It was
Tom.
really good.
We'll talk on Thursday.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yep, you bet. Tom Ackerman there, KMOX sports director, having a ball down there in Florida, and looking forward to the NCAA tournament games this weekend. I can't blame you, man. That's exciting stuff. All right, we're going to be back right after this. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
It appears as though people have taken the day off, and we look good on the roads. Northbound 55 in great shape. Really no delays. Eastbound 70, 44, 64, 40 from out west into downtown. Quiet on the bridges as well. It's a so far so good situation this morning. If you do head out, we've got light volume, but it's super windy, so take care. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This Friday, we're inviting you to have some fish with us. It's another Fish Fry Friday on the Mark Reardon Show. This time we're in Oakville at Queen of All Saints. From 3 to 6, we'll be broadcasting live and eating God's cod. Fish Fry Fridays, made possible by Apache Village RV.
For all your interior or exterior home cleaning services, visit www.callcarpetguy.com. It's that time of year to refresh those tired, stained, and worn-out carpets for spring. Call Carpet Guy Home Services with deals starting as low as $39.95. Our professional cleaning will bring your carpets back to life. For all your home cleaning services, schedule online at www.callcarpetguy.com.
All right, Chesterfield Fence and Deck right now, 48 months interest-free financing. When you mention my name, when you reach out to them, let them come out and take a look at your backyard, your dreams for your backyard, or maybe, and this is the thing I love, they'll have a few ideas for you. They're going to have a digital gallery they'll bring to you, and you can look through the amazing transformations they've done in other people's backyards. Maybe you want more than a deck. Maybe you want a sunroom. Maybe you want a fully enclosed all-season room back there. They can do that, right? They can put in the chimenea for you, or whatever it is you're looking for in the backyard. And they can transform that. You know, they've been doing fences and decks since like 1968. It's run by the same family, locally owned and operated for all of those years. So when you have that sign in the yard and they say it's a sign you have the very best, they take a lot of pride in that. They got people that have worked for them for years and years and years. So reach out to them and tell them that Marc Cox sent you and that you want to have Chesterfield Fence and Deck come and give you a free estimate and a look at what the possibilities are, plus 48 months, same as cash financing. How about that? Go online today. Tell them Mark sent you. It's chesterfieldfence.com.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, buy one, get one room of carpet clean for free. Unlimited rooms of carpet. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them 97.1 sent you.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
This is Don Tracy, Republican candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approved this message. Election Day is on March 17th, and I'm asking you to vote now because the American dream is under attack in Illinois. My Democrat opponents have driven up the cost of living for all of us and made life more unaffordable. Working families need a strong leader who will champion common sense solutions over far-left extreme agendas. I'm Don Tracy, running for U.S. Senate to defend the American dream. Learn more at DonTracyForIL.com. This message is paid for by Don Tracy for Illinois NFP.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
Little breaking news from the New York Post this morning. Get this headline. Trump briefed that Iran's new supreme leader, Mohammad Khamenei, is probably gay. This is the headline on this article. President Trump was stunned to learn last week that U.S. intelligence indicates new Iranian supreme leader may be gay, and that his father, the late Ayatollah Khomeini, feared his suitability to rule the Islamic Republic for that reason.
Well, I mean, in their culture, they probably would quite literally throw you off a building if you were outwardly gay, right?
Yes.
Other than that, what difference does it make as far as he's now gay and impotent? Now,
That's a great headline, isn't it?
This supreme leader is psychotic, it sounds like. However, there's a teeny tiny part of me that feels a little bad for him that the headlines going around are that the dude is gay and impotent.
Well, honestly, I'm not accusing the CIA of planning anything here, but if you wanted to undermine the guy, whether he's alive or dead right now, that'd be one way of doing it. Because who in
I am not gay.
Who in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard is going to come out and start chanting this guy's name once this has been released?
All of a sudden, he comes out of his coma just to let everyone know that he's not gay and that he's not impotent.
I'm just saying that's the headline this morning on the war in Iran. And that's something.
Oh, that's something.
Didn't have that one on my bingo card. That's for sure.
I didn't have about 99% of the stuff that's happened so far this year on my bingo card.
What happened on SNL this weekend? You were telling me about.
SNL is stupid in so many ways.
is,
I haven't
yes.
watched it in years, but every now and then they do something funny that is worth calling out. Drew, is my computer up? Okay, ready for this?
Lady claps her 80th birthday party. Delayed breathing, blood pressure's through the roof.
For people who love the pit.
No effusion, good lung fighting.
Likely stroke.
But can't stand its phony liberal science.
Stock's going crazy. Perceive we're thrown back to me?
Not until we have a definitive diagnosis. From producer Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the team who want to make America healthy again.
What she needs is a steak. She needs protein, people. Give me beef tallow and 6 raw eggs stacked.
It's Ma Hospital. From producer Jillian Michaels and the Facebook group Beach Moms Against Vaccine Tyranny.
This testosterone is crashing. I need 60 cc's of bull semen now!
That's funny. And I've seen a lot of people laughing at this because props to SNL for actually making something that everybody should be able to laugh at.
I need a steak and 6 raw eggs.
Now,
stat.
Now, a lot of issues could be solved with actual whole food like
Oh,
that.
yes,
I'm just saying, but that
absolutely.
is funny because sometimes we can take it to the extreme and act like that's what you need. You know, you feel. I think a lot of you think that I like hate on doctors, and maybe I do, but I see the need for doctors, for medical doctors. There is a time and place for doctors. I agree with that.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's pretty good. That's pretty good stuff. All right. Stay tuned. Kill Meat will be up next with the latest on the supreme leader there in Iran.
Who is gay.
Dead or alive.
And impotent.
Maybe one of them, maybe all of the above. We don't know for sure. But Brian will have the latest. And, of course, Kim and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning along with Drew. Didn't forget you, Drew. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.